What's going on, people? Oh, let me quiet down. As you can see, we are champions. My voice is gone. We've done it. FA Cup winners, Crystal Palace, third time lucky. We have done it. We have beaten Man City to finally get our first trophy in the bank. Today's stream will be posting a link. So if you do want to call into the show, you can do so as well. But I think there's a limit in terms of how many people can join. So it depends on how many people do want to call in. But there's no rules to today's shows. We can talk about the weather. We could talk about the parade next week. We can talk about the game. We could talk about anything we want. We can talk about whatever we want. It's our moment. It's our moment. We're going to enjoy it. There's no time limit as well. We'll see how long the stream goes on for. If it's half an hour, but I guess it'll be much longer than half an hour. I can tell you that. So, yeah, we're just here to celebrate. We've done it. First of all, proud of the boys, honestly. Proud of the manager, the coaching staff, everyone. Yesterday, we ended up winning the trophy in the expense of two players literally ended up in hospital because they fought for the badge. They fought for the badge yesterday, and I can't thank them enough. I genuinely can't thank them enough because today we're going to celebrate. We're going to enjoy it. But yesterday, literally, when I was there at the ground, I know, Patrick, I was next to you, and you got emotional, for example, because, of course, you're like the older generation, especially, and Louis is not older generation, but just everyone, like, I don't know what I'm saying right now. I'm just literally lost for words. I'm literally lost for words. But literally, it was an emotional moment when that final whistle finally went, and it kind of showed how much this club really means to us. I mean, City fans, first of all, they were great from walking out from the ground. Majority of them, 95% of them, they were great. But I guess it was their similar moment to what they experienced in 2011 when they first, I think it was the league back then. And, seeing people around me just literally cry. And we haven't lost, we've won. There's people, I've been watching reaction videos, and there's people who are 70 years old, for example. They're saying, I never thought I'll see this day. There's people who, unfortunately...
You like Patrick?
And what was that?
You mean like Patrick?
Like Patrick. There's people who we unfortunately lost throughout the season. There's, of course, not just the older generation. There's Alfie, who was on Twitter, who unfortunately lost his life. He was a young Palace fan who couldn't see this moment. This wasn't just for us today. This was for the past generation, for the future generation, and the present. It's for Crystal Palace, and it's for South London as a community. It's massive. It's massive for us. We finally got to achieve something. It's not the best of areas in terms of opportunities at times and experiences. And, having a moment like this where my club, my local club, who gave me opportunities, for example, how I first got into Palace was from Palace for Life Foundation, after school clubs, getting free tickets. And then eventually, as I grow old enough to get a season ticket, which was around 13 years old, started attending games. But it all started from, for example, Palace for Life Foundation, from, Palace giving back to the local community. So as someone who actually grew up in this area, who feels like having an affinity for this football club and a love for this football club that I can't describe, I genuinely, yesterday, I didn't feel it as much. Yesterday, I couldn't believe it. But today, it's really hit me. All the stories and emotions. But yeah, look, I'm waffling on. I love this football club. I love everyone.
Can I just ask you, mate?
Yeah.
And Chris as well. I mean, you live well local. You're in the ends, aren't you? Pretty much. Chris is in Croydon. And like D, you would never turn up on time. So I don't know how you manage that. You're literally a 5-minute walk. But what's it like around the area today? Because my missus has been travelling back from Essex. She said she's seen Palace fans everywhere, but it's like loads of Palace fans have come out of the closet.
I haven't left the house. I don't even know. I genuinely haven't left the house. I mean, yesterday I got in at 3 a.m. and I went to bed at around 6 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Yesterday, I genuinely couldn't sleep. I was watching the videos. I was looking at the reaction from the players and the manager, the fans. That's what I'm saying. The stories, the videos that I saw yesterday. And I experienced it myself. I was there, just seeing people around me cry. I can't describe it because I'm not. Look, I've been privileged enough for majority of my life. I've seen Palace in the Premier League, but not everyone can say the same thing. So seeing that and seeing how much it means and putting things into context is amazing. It's genuinely amazing. And I can't thank the manager and the players enough. I genuinely can't. I said it before the game started. I said you can be legends forever, and I truly mean it. It's not only for today. No matter what happens from here onwards, Eze and Eze is going to be named as the player who scored in the cup final to win Palace's first ever trophy. And the sad reality is one day we'll all be gone. I won't be here, Chris won't be here, Patrick won't be here, AJ, Nicky won't be here. But Eze and these people players will be remembered forever. And for that, I'm happy for them. And I'm happy for our football club because we've finally done it. We've finally done it. But look, I'm going to stop waffling. Whoever wants to jump in next. Yesterday I was over the moon. Today it's hitting me even more. I'm just so proud of my club, man. I really am.
I don't have a lot of voice, but I'll jump in next real quickly. I'm not from the ends, Nick, but I'm actually in Croydon. That's where I'm staying with my son because I came over, and there is I've been out about all over Croydon today. I was even in South Croydon, and I was in what is it, Wallington? Chris Clark, you know the area better than I. Is that not down the road?
That's west, far? Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I went to a park with one of my cousins this afternoon. So, and it's definitely I had my Palace scarf on. I wasn't taking it off from yesterday. They gave out, and a lot of people coming up to me, congratulations. I saw some Palace shirts. My son was talking to some kids about the game and yesterday. So there's definitely a vibe going on that's positive in the Croydon area. But I want to, before I waffle on too, Louis not here with us, everybody. So yesterday, me, Louis, my son Xavier, and D and all of Louis' mates had one of the best days ever, obviously. But if you don't know Louis' venture, he had booked a family trip to Greece, which was in the middle of this whole FA Cup. So he actually flew back. What day again, D? Did he fly back from Greece?
I don't even know what day it is today.
Must have been Friday night probably. And then he went to the game yesterday and he flew back to Greece this morning, 3 a.m. So he wants me to read to everybody a little note. Boys, I'm so tired I can barely keep awake. I'll have to miss the stream as I need to find somewhere in a hotel to do it. Pass on this message. All my dreams came true in 90 minutes. Tears of happiness. I got to celebrate with family and friends. No football match will ever make me feel like that again. I doubt I'll have any moments in my life that will live up to the moment the final whistle went. I'll see you all at the parade. So, so that's from Louis. Yesterday, so people may not actually know, I'm actually 60 years old. All right, so I followed Palace since I was talking to my brother today. Since he told me my dad took me when I was about 4 years old, but I don't remember that. So that would be 1969, which actually, Nick, is the first year Palace were in the first division. So apparently my brother was a ball boy, he told me, from the age of 11. I didn't know that until today, by the way. He had a long conversation about Palace. He was a ball boy from 11 to 15. I thought he was only a ball boy for like 2 years. He was a ball boy for 4 years. So from 69 on, he was a ball boy. So I've been like knowing Palace, knew the players, whatever, since that time. Moved to America at 14 and still follow Palace. And I'll pass that on to my son, who I'll get on the show later on. My only wish ever was a Palace to win a major trophy. I've talked about it on millions of streams. We joke about the ZDS Cup, and yes, I was not there, Nick, but I do remember Jeff went up to lift the ZDS Cup. I was not there. I know you were there, but I was not there. And that was a great day, don't get me wrong. But yesterday was the greatest day of my sporting life, and it will never be matched. Never be matched, okay? The emotion that I spilled at the end of that match, D will tell you, was I cried like I've never cried in my life before. And I was man enough to videotape it and send it out to my friends so they could see how I was, because they meant that much to me. And I'm going to cry now, it looks like, because my voice is already cracking. But to spend it with people like D, people like Louis and his friends, my son, I saw Chris Clark, thankfully, at the end of the match. I saw Nick. I saw other friends that I've known through Palace, like Sam Jordan, who used to work for Palace. I got to know. Just the man, people, Rich from Eagle Eye Football, what we saw before and during the match. I had friends who flew from Philadelphia, like my son, to come to the match. It was, without a doubt, the best moment I will ever have as a Palace fan. And I'll say I've seen, like Nick, Nick won't admit it, but we're only like 2 years apart in age, maybe actually 1 year apart. He won't ever admit it, but so he's seen. Is it 4? No way. Okay, all right, you're lucky. You're a young man then. But Nick and I have seen. God bless you. Nick has seen promotions, double relegations, FA Cup runs, FA Cup losses, administrations, 1, 2. Was it 3? Is it 2, Jordan? 2 administrations, right? Yeah.
2.
But we've been through the highs and the lows. But yesterday, for me, made up for everything. Everything for me was that it was unbelievable. But I stressed from minute 1 to minute 100. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, I did not enjoy it. D will tell you. I was on my knees at times. I would have my head down. But what I did do was try taking the moment as it went on. And luckily, I vlogged a lot of the game, so you'll actually get to see what I went through in that game. But it was unbelievable. And I am so proud that, like D said, of the players. I'll say it, of the ownership, okay, of the manager, because we would not be here if not for all of those. I'm proud of, yes, I'll say it, Dougie Freeman, because D's right. He did it for fantastic. I make fun of him and I said comments, but without Dougie, we're not here, right? So it's been amazing. The recruitment, the players, and I will say to see Joel Ward, a player who's been with us for 13 years and got us promoted, lift that cup, I could not have been happier for a player. He didn't play much this year besides Brighton, and I think he played against Norwich. But to see Joel Ward lift that cup, man, that was so brilliant to get him. I mean, again, I could go on and I'll go on later on again, but honestly, being there, so D and I, we started at, where did we start? We went to Covent Garden with my son. That was brilliant with the HF. Then we went to
Marylebone
to see a friend of mine at this place called the Globe. Then we end up going to the Green Man and met Louis. But every time I was there, and by the way, the fans of this show are brilliant. I must have gotten, honestly, D, 25, 50 people come up to me and say, Patrick or D, I love the show, Louis. Great job. We love what you do, which means a lot to me, but it's just nice to know people watch the show. But again, yesterday will never be surpassed. And I told D yesterday, who went on after talking about a European tour, which is great. I'll tell you now, live in the moment. Just enjoy this cup, all right? Enjoy it. We may win again next year. We may never win it ever again. My dad passed away 4 years ago and didn't get to see Palace win the FA Cup. I put on Instagram yesterday a picture that said, "This is for you, Dad," because it meant that much. Because without him, I wouldn't be here as a Palace fan, even my son. But I'll tell you now, as a Palace fan, just enjoy it for what it is. Because yesterday was a moment that D said will go down in history. We're all gone. Those players that played, those players who contributed, whether they played yesterday or didn't play, will live in folklore for Crystal Palace. And I'm so both happy and proud today to support Crystal Palace. I really am.
Well said, man. Well said.
End the show there because he's just coming. I'm going to start with the same thing, the ZDS Cup. And I did go with my dad. And I did go with my Uncle John, who was a Scouser, Everton fan. So, yeah, that meant a lot to me thinking back to that game. And it was the old Wembley as well. But yesterday, yeah, it's been a long, long time. Next season is my 50th season of going. So we won something in the first 50 years. I'm a bit gutted that all you youngsters haven't had to have the life of misery that I've had and the piss taking. You know, we're hardcore having it for 50 years, how crap we've been. But it still hasn't really sunk in. I'm not... I haven't watched the game yet. I've watched the introduction, the build-up on BBC, which was really good. The film they did on Ebbs really tugged at the heartstrings. But again, we the brilliant day started on the train from Nottingham up to Charing Cross to meet Chris and some of our other friends up there, and just the train took ages. It kept stopping, and the first 3 people we met were 3 girls in Palace tops, and they had the most laddish chat I've ever heard anybody have. The most laddish chat. They were talking about boxing. There was banter going on, really. So that was quite amusing, and everybody was in a Palace shirt. Everybody was just in a good mood. Went to a pub in Covent Garden, enjoyed the march, which was incredible. And when I've seen pictures back from above, the sheer amount of people there. We got a lot of honks on the way. And then we had a couple of beers at Green Park. Mid-sun decided to smash the ceiling of the tube onto my head. So I was covered in black dust for the rest of the day, but hey-ho. And then after that, it's just a blur. The getting in, the anticipation, everybody in there being nice to each other, the early lead, the belief, the penalty save, not knowing about the handball outside the area till about 6 hours after kickoff, after it had finished, and just sitting on the bus home, just trying to soak it all in, and the odd people saying congratulations. And then just sitting down worn out because I'd done about 22,000 steps. But yeah, as Patrick said, best day of sporting life. I was in block 134, so in with a noisy lot, and it was just constant, absolutely constant, bouncing up and down. The praise that the Palace fans are getting. Well done, the HF, for the money they raised. Well done, everybody who put into it, and well done, everybody there that joined in with the whole spirit of the thing. But to a man, woman, and whatever, everybody there would just hug each other, and it was just that communal moment that we have been craving for, and now we've felt it. I spoke to my friend Johnny Celtic, who, funnily enough, supports Rangers. No, he supports Celtic. And I said, does the feeling change every time you win? He said, no. But I sort of get the feeling that it wouldn't have bothered Man City. I don't know if they won. I don't know. Who knows? What do you think?
I don't know, Chris. You can jump in, AJ.
What I've got to say is going to be nowhere near compared to the likes of Nick, Patrick. I'd even debate D. My first Crystal Palace match was 0-0 against Sheffield Wednesday in a game which Akinbai played and Wayne Routledge played. I remember my aunt taking me because, we didn't really come from any kind of money growing up, to be fair. And obviously I grew up in South London. So I was always aware of a club like Crystal Palace, but I didn't really understand it. And then after that sort of first game, that really sort of drew my interest. And then growing up in a kind of environment where you've got much bigger cousins, your uncles and stuff like that, who are Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, they at such a young age will kind of sort of sway me to one way or the other, one way or another. And then as I sort of got older and I started watching more Palace games and going to the games, I've always been in a position where I've gone to Crystal Palace games and I've found myself feeling welcome. And I've always had an experience where, you know what, this is the club for me. This is where I want to support. This is who I want to watch. And I did go against the grain, and it did surprise a lot of people at the time. And I've always been in a position where I've had to sort of sit there and watch all these other teams have their moment of glory, or at the end of the season, they'll all be sort of sitting there talking about, oh, we've done this, we've done that, we've done the other. Then many, many, many years ago, the mother of my children and their family, they're all diehard Crystal Palace fans. And then they took me probably to more games before, until obviously I plucked up the courage and just committed to getting myself a season ticket. And I just haven't looked back ever since. Patrick would have obviously met them as well, because obviously he sits next to me, and I obviously traditionally sit around that group of people. And the love and the openness that I've always had from that football club, it wouldn't be unmatched, and I know I wouldn't get that anywhere else. You know, yesterday being able to walk down Wembley Way, shout out to Rich, JC, and all the other Eagle Eye football guys as well. I linked up with them in the morning. We had a few drinks. We had quite a good time leading up to the game and leading up to Wembley. Running and bumping into so many people who recognize me, obviously as a result of this show and this channel, and obviously from this channel being able to go on and do other things courtesy of D. Which is also an accident in terms of meeting D, all because that was all through work and some. D will remember that was a bit of a weird one. All it was a conversation. Huh?
You want to say the story or not?
Yeah. So I used to work in a bank. I definitely don't do that now. And then D walks in. No, let me be more specific. A young boy walks in with a very white out tracksuit, looking like he was ready for a Puff Daddy video. And I turned around and looked at him and I was like, oh, bro, I know you from that back in this YouTube thing, bro. And we kind of just had like a, what was it, like a 5-minute conversation? Not even a 5-minute conversation. I think it was like a 2-minute conversation. And I was at work. So I'm standing there in my suit with red tie and everything. And he was like, no, man, you should call onto the show. I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. And I think it was, what, a couple of weeks later I jumped on? Yeah. And obviously I've not looked back ever since. So it's so crazy how the world works and how these things sort of align. And now I've become popular as a result of that. And I've even been more embraced as a result of that. And that's thanks to all these sort of random weird things. And in a weird way, a South London connection as well. And yesterday being able to be in a position where I wouldn't even say justify it, but be in a position where I can finally justify my choice of why I chose the football club. And more importantly, be able to look back and have my own personal special moment. It was beyond the realms of fantastic. I was so emotional. I can only apologize. I wasn't sitting next to any of the guys. I was up in 5-3-1. And ironically, I actually swapped my seat with another guy so he could sit with his mum and his aunt. So I actually got a privilege to actually sit a little bit closer. And the whole emotion of the game, man. I mean, when that goal went in, the penalty was saved. Those poor strangers around me, man, people were crying. Somebody had to pick me up from the ground. Because I think between the emotion and a bit of the alcohol, was going to be said, and everything that we sort of went through yesterday, I don't know if I would ever be able to reproduce that feeling and reproduce that adulation and joy. And there will be nothing like that. I don't think I'll ever be able to justify that, especially on paper or in a sentence or a paragraph. And then obviously I was able to come home and celebrate with my other half as well. And bless her, she put out all the Palace shirts and everything and started singing All Glad All Over and stuff. And I was able to, you know, the messages of it and support flooding in from Arsenal, Man United fans. And I have to admit, the Man City fans that I met yesterday at Wembley, absolutely classy.
So classy.
They were shaking my hands. They were giving me hugs, saying, well done, you guys deserve it. This is your time. You know, fair play to him, man. Like, it was an experience that you would never be able to replicate.
They weren't that happy when I was singing Where Were You When You Were Shit at them on the way in.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were asking for it, literally. If you're singing that, who would be happy? You would be happy.
No, but they were coming up to, oh, I saw us at fucking Mansfield. And you're like, oh, fair enough then.
You know, look, but that's the thing about City fans from the other big six teams, in my opinion. I think, no, there's been, even yesterday, to be fair, it's not only just the City fans. I bumped into so many different fans. I bumped into Ipswich fan, United fan, everyone. I don't know. I bumped into the whole football world, it feels like, yesterday. And everyone was classy. But in comparison to what happened when we went Wembley against Chelsea in the semi-final and 0-16 against United in the final, City fans were different class. I just have to say, from my personal experience, they were just on another level. I've never seen a fan base like that after defeat. Well, of course, as I said, I've heard 1 or 2 stories of everyone not having the same experience, but I think not even 95% of them were class. And you can tell because they haven't always had this privilege. Now they're dominating English football, but they weren't always in that privilege. So they know how it feels to be in our position. And I think that's why they appreciate it a bit more than, you know, the other top 6 fans who've always, you know, kind of grew up to glory, to be fair. But yeah, I just want to say once again, credit to City fans, because I personally, I'll be behind them. Next season they can win whatever they want, because I honestly have so much respect for them. They didn't cause any trouble. Sorry, continue. I bumped in there. I don't. Sorry, sorry, AJ.
No, that's pretty much it, man. I think, it's been a journey. That's all I can say. From, being a little person and taking to my first game just by sheer luck of my aunt, to going into purchasing my first season, going into the game with family, or extended family, should I say, and then going on to a position of getting my first season ticket, and then kind of getting used to the expectation that, Premier League football was enough. And then moving on to what we did yesterday I legitimately didn't even know how to respond, because we've never been in this position before. And I think the funny thing is, and I'm sure we'll discuss it at some point later, is this will change the trajectory of where the club is at. It changes our summer. It changes our sponsorship. It changes our targets. It potentially means that players might sign new deals. We can attract different types of players. We can potentially keep certain types of players. But it's very similar to a lot of the other fans. I'm going to be God honest truth. I don't think I've even processed it yet. Even when I was coming in my own house and my own wife turned around and looked at me and was like, "Oh my God, babe, you did it." I hugged her, got quite emotional. And I've sort of just turned around and I don't even know how to respond apart from thank you. Oh my God, we can't believe it. Holding my head on my knees. I don't know what to make of this. This is what we call uncharted territory. And I'm just gonna be here to make the most of it, man, because if it fades away and we become a Wigan, at least we had our moment. Or if it fades into something, if it changes or transitions into something progressive, and I have to admit, I do believe we do have the right chairman to look after us and do that, then I'm more for it, man. Let's just see how it plays out. But I think Patrick was on the money in terms of living the moment and enjoy it, because we may not have this feeling again, but I'm more than delighted that in my lifetime, I'm very privileged enough to have it. And nobody can take that away from us. Even as Palace fans, nobody can ever take that away from us. We have our moment in history. We have our name on the cup.
Yeah, I agree. Chris, and then we'll go to Xavier.
Yeah, cool. Okay. I mean, I think emotion is the key thing. It's the common theme of everyone's contributions so far today. For me, my first Palace memory is a telly one first. It's that FA Cup semi-final and final in 1990. And I'm going to get emotional breakdown at some point talking about this even now, because it means that much. I remember going in the League Cup when we got Man United away, and I got the coach up there in I think that was 2013, and so much wanting to beat them, and the fact that we did, and it was obviously that Darren Ambrose screamer that inspired the song, and indeed inspired the tifo that we saw yesterday, which we have to talk about. And I think that again, it comes back to the emotion point and the family connections and everything that so many of us are feeling. That iconic camera pan to that chap Mark with his two boys hugging when that goal went in sums up everything that we were all feeling when the goal went in and when the final whistle went yesterday. It's, obviously he tragically passed away, and that I have to say, full applause to the HF for getting the tone absolutely right with both of the tifos, for the semi-final and for the final. The artists, the people who came up with the sentiment, they get this club, and they've rightly got plaudits in all the media, and I can't praise them enough for that. The whole game yesterday was an emotional journey. It was obviously incredibly stressful to get to and past the final whistle, and you just saw just now, the what it means to me, everyone that was around me, especially, older people who have lived through this and thought they wouldn't ever see it in their lifetime. I had to, I turned around and I hugged a guy who was just stood there like I am now, broken. There was no need for words because we knew what it meant. And I've been getting messages and looking at tweets and social media all day today. And there's so many little posts that are just take me back to this place again. And fair enough. As you say, these are golden days to support this club. If you can't live this, then, I'm not going to say the other bit because it doesn't matter. What really does matter is this is so special. It means so much to all of us. I was planning to be away on holiday next Monday. Well, I'm at a conference and I was planning to extend my stay. I'm not doing that now. I'm going to be on a plane and I will be on that parade with all of us, showing our pride and our love for each other, for our club, for our community. I have no other words.
Yeah, I'll be there as well. Xavier, of course, we went, well, pre-game, we done it all together. And then during the game, you sat at the fancy area. We didn't have this privilege. But for you, the win, the occasion, because of course your dad brought you into Sporting Palace. At times, maybe you might be questioning, saying, "Dad, why did you make me do this?" But I guess it all lived up to moments like yesterday, where we finally done it and won our first trophy. But how was the occasion for you, and just your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, first, thanks guys for having me. I'm a big fan of the show. Not just because my dad does it. I just really genuinely enjoy the content that you guys do, and it's great to have
nepotism.
It's great to therefore to just have so much content associated with the club that I genuinely love. I'll explain a bit why it means so much to me. So I'm 32. My first real memory of Palace is us staying up at Stockport. So back in those days, obviously the football wasn't really on TV in the States like that. So my dad would huddle around an old desktop that we had and listen to it on the radio. And I remember like around that, when we were in that relegation battle, and my dad, he'd beaten Pompey 4-2 on the Tuesday or the Wednesday before the Stockport match. And I didn't really understand what was going on. Would have only been about 5 at the time. But I didn't really understand, why it was so important and what was going on and everything. But I remember him yelling, when Doug Yates scored that 89th minute winner to end up keeping us up. And I'd love, football is only really been the only sport for me. I've played since I was a kid, still play now, and I've always loved football. So and I realized, how much it meant to him. He was doing all this for a team that you couldn't even watch, on the TV, and it didn't make much sense to me. But I saw how much it meant to him, and then we got eventually, when I got older, and I understand, the connection, that he had to club, being born in Thornton Heath, it being past, you speaking earlier about, him being there when he was about 4 or 5 in, the late 60s, the early 70s. And that came from, my granddad, who's sadly no longer with us. But just having that thread of the club, be something that's part of our family now for 3 generations, something that really, really means a lot to me. It meant a lot to me, when my granddad was alive, and, being able to talk to him about football. And then now with my dad, we can always talk about Palace. We can always talk about Palace. That means a lot to me, and it means I feel very close to him, speaking about, football generally, but especially Palace. My first match, we came over for the first time. I came over in 2008. We played Hereford in a League Cup match. We won 2-1. I couldn't tell you anything about the match, besides it being generally awful. I think Paul Eiffel scored, but it was my first time being at Selhurst. And I really got it because the whole sports in the States are different, in terms of even just where the stadiums are located, right? So you have Selhurst now, which I've been to several times since. It's just in the community in a way that stadiums in the States are just isolated, and it's just a much different thing. And now it's I fully understand, being part of this club and what it means, just fully in, South London and everything that means. And I was like, all right. And when I got it, but then that was the first time I really, really fully understood it. And then, I was not really able to watch us on the TV. It got these moments here and there. I have a very clear memory of my dad paying for pay-per-view to watch us go up in 2003-4. We beat Sunderland in the playoffs, in the semifinals, and then we beat West Ham. And I have a very clear memory of that. And then Premier League matches were slowly, coming to the TV back then. So I used to, watch that. I remember having a very clear memory of watching us getting relegated at Charlton on the final day. And then we ended up getting, promoted in 2013. And I was there for that match with my dad. And it meant a lot to me for me to be there. It's the first time I'd been at Wembley, and it really, really meant a lot to be there. And um similar emotions, that match as I had yesterday, that I couldn't even watch the penalty, to be honest with you. I remember we were up in the 500 somewhere, and I remember just being fully turned around to the goal, and then just waiting for the reaction of everyone else to let me know what had happened, and having a huge embrace with my dad, and then crying at the final whistle, when we had gone up. And then everything else from there, is history, really. The last 12 years for the club have been absolutely fantastic. And now that it's so big over here, football, I mean, in the States, now I get to watch Palace, every week. And it's not the same, as you guys, being able to go to the matches and that. And I obviously understand that, but it means so much to me, and it means so much to my family. And I honestly dread to think what would have happened if we hadn't won yesterday. I don't really know how my dad would have taken it, to be honest. Just kept talking about how he couldn't see us lose at this stage again. So I'm most delighted for him, really. And a lot of the older fans that we have in our fan base who genuinely thought they would never see it. My granddad never saw it, before he passed. So I was thinking about that a lot yesterday. And yeah, I mean, it's just brilliant, really. Like I said, like I really, really love the club. And it's always funny when I talk about football, at work, or my friends understand it a little bit more because they understand football. But I'm always talking about at work, and they're like, "Who do you support?" And I say Crystal Palace. Why do you support Palace? And I was like, "Well, my dad was born there." Then all of a sudden, it makes sense. Um, and now it's a bit different now because a lot more people know who Palace is, just because of the established stint that we've had in the Premier League. But it was always funny when I was talking about football when I was growing up, especially like playing football, and everyone supported United and Chelsea, especially back then. And it's like, "Why you support Palace?" It's like, "Well, my dad." So it's just always meant so much. And yesterday was, like a lot of you have already said, I just haven't really even fully processed it. I remember I was with D for a lot of the day yesterday, which is great. It was great to meet D yesterday, and Louis as well, who I know couldn't join us. Um, and we were heading back on the tube, and we were just like, someone just said, like, we're actually in the Community Shield next season. And I was like, yeah, like I hadn't even thought about that. And then like I saw the pots for the Europa League, and I was like wow, like we're genuinely in the competition. Like none of that is hit yet. And like it still hasn't. I'm seeing. I watched that match of the day. It's probably about 25, 30 times already. Still just amazed that we actually won, and it was brilliant. I'm a bit sad that I couldn't be with my dad because he's in phase one because he has a season ticket, and I was in phase two because I'm a gold member. So I was watching it in the first half. I was genuinely just by myself, but my dad's brother was there in 238, and I found him at halftime. I ended up watching the second half with him. He's not a Palace supporter, but having been in the area, and he knows what it means to the club, it was brilliant to be there, and, to watch that bit with him. And yeah, it's honestly the match itself, like in terms of what actually happened, I don't really think it was that important. It's really just about the moments and the things that you felt. Like those are the things I'm going to take away. I'm not going to really remember anything other than the goal and the penalty save. There are things I watched on the highlights that I generally don't even remember happening during the match. Um, but the moments and the things that I was feeling during that is something I'll have forever. And it meant so much to be there, and it was really a lift for me to get there. Like I had a red eye flight into Heathrow yesterday morning, which feels mad because I feel like I've lived like a week in the last like 24 hours. But I got in yesterday about 7:30. Went to my cousin who lives in East Croydon because all of my dad's family is pretty much still here, which helps with the connection that I have to London, especially, but to London, and but especially the club. So dropped off my stuff, and basically we were out the door to Covent Garden pretty immediately after that. Met with D at East Croydon before heading up there. So it's been a whirlwind, really. In terms of all the things that we did, but it was brilliant, really. And I was just a mess at the final whistle. And I wish my dad had been there next to me. That would have been great. But I just remember I thought I wasn't gonna end up crying. I think when the final whistle went, I hadn't really dealt with it, and then all of a sudden I was just sobbing basically for like 30 minutes. um like between the singing and all that, and making sure I was getting some of the moments on my phone, I was just sobbing. And I remember having a very clear memory of this group of women who was sat behind me, um and then all of a sudden, just several of them just like embracing me, like fully understanding why it was that I was sobbing. They were crying as well. um and then I look around, and pretty much everyone around me was just sobbing because it meant so much to everyone that was there. And it was one of those things where if you aren't really pals, you wouldn't really understand why it means so much to us. Um, and like a lot of you have said already, just winning this has been brilliant. It's just something that'll never be taken away from us. And my dad has said, if we don't win anything else again, he'd be perfectly content. And I'm inclined to feel the same way, despite being 30 years younger. It just meant so much, it just means so much. I'm having a hard time really explaining, my emotions beyond it. It was just brilliant to be a part of. And running into my dad after the match, when we were getting ready to leave, and we had a nice long hug, and we were both crying in each other's arms, and it was great. And that is generally everything I could have dreamed of. And I remember before the match thinking, what if we do lose? Like, how are we going to deal with it? And I tried, the beers helped a bit, try to push that feeling down, as much as I can. Think about, what if we win? How great would that be? Didn't want to make any predictions, but always had a little feeling, didn't want to jinx it by saying it out loud, but I had a feeling we could do it. Just the group of players, you could tell how much it meant to them. And even the way that they played, like Gay, he ended up fracturing his eye socket. Wharton had to go to the hospital with concussion. They gave literally everything. And it's brilliant. And the manager is brilliant. And it's just great. This group of players and this manager really deserve it. And like Glasner was saying, the fans, the people, in South London who live here and live and die with Palace really, really deserve it. And it was just brilliant, to be a part of. And I couldn't be happier, really. Genuinely the best trip of my life. Yesterday was the best day of my life. Not married. I don't have any kids yet. So before yesterday was the playoff final, and then, given what happened yesterday, that's easily the best day of my life. It's a trip I'll never ever forget. So many people in my personal life who know how much Palace means to me were contacting me. People I play football with, people I work with, friends that I have, and it was great. I just genuinely I wouldn't trade it for the world, and just really happy to have been here, and you guys giving me a little bit of space to talk about it. Just Palace means so much to my family and my dad. My mom was watching it in her shirt. My sister was watching it. She lives in New Jersey. She's watching it and was going mad as well. And my mom doesn't care about football at all, but she knows how much Palace means, to me and my dad. And then my sister cares about it a little bit more, but again, just generally understood what the occasion meant. And seeing how much it meant to us was brilliant. And then all the people knowing how much it meant to us was brilliant. It was just a fantastic day. I just really, really feel glad to be, a Palace supporter. And I've always, felt it means a lot to me. So I'm just really, really, really happy, to have been here and experienced.
Can I ask you a question, actually, while you're here? Just while we've got you, and I don't know how much your dad can hear in the background because he's got headphones on, but tell us now, live, when your mum goes into the room that your dad does his pods, how often does she like toot and shake her head and then just walk out and go?
So
I don't know if you know, but maybe you might remember from.
Yeah. So what's funny about it is, so he does it like in the house that I grew up in, but I don't live there anymore. So I live in Philadelphia now, which I had mentioned. And my sister has moved out as well. So we used to live on the second floor. My dad is now basically turned. So whenever you see my dad do the show, it's actually from my old room, which is now basically turned into a podcast studio. So he'll go up there and do it, and he'll close the door and everything. And so my mom's actually not really hearing any of it. And she genuinely enjoys the fact that he has an outlet to talk about Palace, because otherwise he'd be chewing her ear off about it. So so she does, make some jokes about, the fact that he's always doing, either a stream or player ratings or whatever it might be. And she laughs about, how much it means to him, but she actually is not super involved in terms of, being there when he's actually recording the show. She's not actually sat in the same room as him.
That's crazy. Just quickly, I just want to say there's a few super chats. Honestly, today I'll read through them, but don't send a super chat, people. I really appreciate it. But today, literally, just send in your comments as they come in. Normally, just drop a like if you haven't already done so. That's all that matters. Super chats, please just don't send them in. I don't want you to spend your money. Like, let's just enjoy this moment. Let's genuinely enjoy this moment. But I read this out because I just literally saw it right now. I should have mentioned that at the start of the show, but I really appreciate you all even saying it without even me mentioning it. K Chambers saying we're all going on a European tour. Exactly, we could talk about that as well. Monty saying Diaz said it. Year of the Birds, Liverpool, Newcastle, Palace. Exactly. Year of the underdogs, apart from Liverpool, of course. Newcastle, haven't won a trophy in ages. Palace also in that regards, and a few other clubs over in Europe. So it is a really special year. It is a special year, and as everyone's put their stories out there, you can tell like we won a trophy. Normally, you see it with other fans of top clubs. They're all smiling, laughing, they're joking about this and that. We haven't really had that moment because and I'm trying to process it whilst everyone's saying the stories, but I just feel like it's so raw right now in terms of like how quickly it's happened that I think next week, Monday, maybe after the parade, we might do a show, and like that, we can have all laughs and giggles and stuff like that. But today, it's like not about yesterday; it's about your journey to here, and I think that's the emotional part about it. You know, I'm seeing lots of people in chat, which I've been reading the comments whilst everyone's been giving their thoughts. You know, people supporting Palace for 50 years, 60 years. People talking and also relating to tears of joy at a full-time whistle. We haven't had this experience. Maybe some people have supported other teams along the way, you know, over wherever they live, their local teams, or if they're from abroad or whatever, and they might have experienced this joy. But as Palace fans, we haven't had this experience, and we're talking about.
Can I interrupt you there again, D? I'm just going to say, Trevor Francis, we had to sit through that. How many bad managers and players? Trevor Aylott, Alan Mullery managing us, getting oh so close. I mean, this is why it means so much. The fucking dirge we've sat at Selhurst and watched, that all kind of like exploded out of me yesterday. It didn't matter anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's all the downsides, like the all the negative perceptions. Like it's like a release. Finally, all of those for now. Like it meant something. Like it was like you had to go through everything to reach this moment, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For the ball, he was there. He was there actually. Funny enough, yesterday.
Was
Apparently, he was at the game. Yeah, apparently he was at the game. But yeah, look, everyone has their own journeys. I think some people have gone through way worse than others, but the biggest thing about yesterday is that we're all a one big family, and the thing that unites us all is this football club. And I met a lot of people yesterday. For example, you even watch the shows, just in general as well. People not only from the UK, people from America, people from Philly, which of course I'm not talking about Xavier, but of course he's from Philly, New York, Colorado, LA, you know, and Tim's from Colorado, for example. And not even I was surprised. I was like, oh, dude, you know, we have someone who does a podcast. He didn't know about the show, and he was like, oh, wow. And then there was a few people who didn't know each other. They're from LA, and then basically connected them. I was like, yeah, you can join the fan club. You can watch your games together at 7 a.m. So it's just like we're growing as a football club. To me, there might be some people in the chat, and for them it might be normal, but to me it sounds crazy. The fact that we have fans all over the world, I love it, but it just sounds crazy to me because it's like this is like South London. As I said, it's not the best of areas. It's not an area of London where people rave on about it. It can be a bit rough there. As I said, there isn't that many opportunities. And now when you have people, for example, all over Australia, South Africa, America, just everywhere that support this club, it just feels, it's like, wow, like we've grown a lot. Because remember, 2010, you lot will know better than me because I was only 10 then. And you would experience it better. Your emotions were higher, but there was a chance that we weren't going to be a football club. You know, we haven't even spoke about that. There was a chance that Crystal Palace wouldn't be a football club, and here we are, 15 years later, celebrating our first ever trophy, talking about us going into Europe, which we haven't really spoke about, but that is happening as well. And there's a parade next week, Monday, whereas 15 years ago, it was a celebration that this club was actually a football club. Forget about a trophy. Like that's what we were celebrating. The fact that this football club can live on to be another day, go on for another day. And here we are. Not only are we an established Premier League club, but we've won our first trophy. So as I said, everyone has their own journey. Some people may have not even experienced that, or some people may have experienced much worse. But as Palace fans, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people have experienced a lot of negatives. There isn't, unless you were born about a few years ago, or maybe the Premier League era is great as well. But a lot of the fan base have experienced the downsides. And as Chris mentioned, even about the Tifo, that story is great. Both the semi-final and the final Tifos. It's a great story. It's a great story. And you don't really see that in other football clubs. You don't. But we share those experiences because we might not be a massive club, but everyone, these experiences can be passed on to other people. Like we can relate to that. We all know when, that celebration, that video, for example, as soon as I saw the Tifo, the photo of it, because of course I was there, I didn't know as it was happening because I was sitting along amongst the Palace fans. I was like, I know that moment. You know, we all know that moment. It's a celebration, but it's like a screenshot. But we all know that moment because, you know, it was massive for us on that day. We didn't even win any trophy on that day. We didn't win a trophy after that goal. But, you know, the fact that those moments can be remembered and can be passed on to the final just shows how special this football club is. Because not a lot of other football clubs can. You know, that moment, it feels like, let's say United or any other football club, it would have been forgotten about. You think they're doing a tifo, remembering a moment. And it's amazing that his sons were at the game as well. Sadly passed away. How long ago, Chris, was it again? I don't want to say it wrong.
2017.
2017, exactly. It's a shame, but that's what this moment was for. Not, I believe his name was Mark. Yeah, it wasn't only for Mark. It was for many other stories that have been untold, and many other fans who couldn't experience it. And that's why today, as much as we're celebrating, and as I said, we should be laughing, giggling, and I'm over the moon, don't get me wrong, but it's about literally like how we got here. And I just wish some of the Palace fans, and not everyone was older, not everyone did, you know, pass away from age. Some people were younger. There's Palace fans that's passed away. As I said, there's Alfie who passed away sadly this season, and he was very young, and you know, he couldn't experience it, but it was for them. It was for them. It was for that moment. Where should we go next now? We spoke about emotions. Anyone want to talk about the game? Were we lucky?
I know we don't normally do this, Dee, but I've just had a message on Blue Sky. Hi Nick, just watching your Back of the Nest show and seeing Patrick's lad on there and spending yesterday with my lad. It's a special moment for a parent. I came off Twitter and haven't found him on this platform. Please pass on my love and respect to him and his lad. Love the show. So that's something I think Patrick might have known from before. So, but that's the kind of feedback everybody's getting, and that's been the main theme of the whole day, isn't it? Even just looking back on it, it's just kind of a fuzzy warmness.
Yeah, literally. About the game, then, what do you think of it? I look, honestly, Henderson for me should have been man of the match. For me, he was man. As much as I love Munoz and he got an assist, I thought he was man of the match. He was incredible. And once again, when we talk about sad stories, you know, after the game, he mentioned it, his dad passed away earlier in the season. And the thing that hit me most about Henderson, and that's what I'm saying, I'm listening to all the stories today and it's hitting me more because I'm processing them. But the thing that hit me the most was that in one of the interviews that he done, he mentioned that his dad passed away, but he mentioned that one of his neighbors apparently watched a game, I believe, next to his dad's grave on the radio. Well, listen to the game on the radio. And that thought there, for example, unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. We're not even talking about a fan, we're talking about a player. And, you know, he said he done it for his dad. And look at the performance that he put in. Incredible. And Henderson, I don't care what happened from here onwards, he's a legend in this side. All of the players are legends. They're forever Crystal Palace legends. And his dad will be so proud of him. So proud of him. Because he's...
Is it worth asking if he's going to be starting on Tuesday, given what I've seen on social media of him singing a song which I can't remember, but it's hilarious. I think the Palace players had a do at Box Park last night, didn't they, or something like that? And Hendo was legendary.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest, Nick. We can talk about Tuesday, as I say, we can talk about whatever, but let's leave that to later on down the show.
No,
Tuesday, all I say about Paddy McCarthy starting goal. We can give him a day contract. He can start in goal, not even in defense, and that's all I care. I don't care. Like Tuesday, we could get absolutely. I'm already kind of prepared for it. We could get absolutely thrashed. We could do.
Play the under nines. I don't care. Like
yeah.
This season is officially completed for me. So like I don't know.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of people calling in. Let's invite everyone. I think there's more than. We can only invite 10 people at a time, so I think there's more than 10 people. So we'll just go through everyone right now. Let's start with Winter's Gate, and I'll add on everyone as well whilst you're talking. Massive day, as I said. Unless you want to bring the smiles and the laughters, or you want to share your story, the floor is yours. I mean, we've been more on an emotional route. Maybe you're over the moon. Maybe you're not even emotional. Maybe you're just like, I love it.
A bit of everything, to be honest. I think emotional is, as we've said, kind of just the whole thing. It's just it's hard to process, but it just feels for me like this result was a culmination of kind of the whole season, really, in terms of the togetherness, the camaraderie of the players. You can tell the relationship they've got with the fans, with the manager, you know, and the defensive stability. We've had to ride so many storms. The Brighton game springs to mind at Selhurst, you know, 2-1, 10 men or 9 men, having to defend for our lives, getting bodies on the line. And it was like that, you know, we knew that City were going to have so much of the ball. And when the game started, the first 15 minutes, you were just fearing the worst. But, you know, counter-attack, clinical finish, and just absolutely brilliant. But yeah, for me, you know, I think I said in the chat, I actually went to the game by myself. I was trying to get my wife a ticket. It didn't happen. So, yeah, and just at the final whistle, you know, you can't buy that kind of moment. It was just absolutely, absolutely incredible. And what I love about it is just kind of signing on to forums like this, listening to everybody's stories, because people have so many different stories to tell about how they got into Palace, whether it's supporting from abroad somewhere, not just in the UK, but America, Japan, all around the world. It's incredible hearing these stories from people, Pat and Xavier as well. Their stories just absolutely brilliant. Getting a little bit emotional talking about it, to be honest, but what an incredible, incredible occasion. And just, yeah, forums like this, it's brilliant. As somebody who, you know, I go to games by myself, I do meet up with people when I get there, people that I sit with and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's great to just have this presence on here to be able to talk about it. And yeah, what an amazing occasion. And yeah, I think we're going to be celebrating it for a long, long time to come. So yeah, up the Palace.
Yeah, it's not only just today as well, to be fair. It's going to be going on longer than that. But for you,
Sure.
what was it like when Eze scored that goal? For me, I was more emotional about the Munoz disallowed goal, because I was like, it's happened. We've actually won it. And I was like, that's it. The Eze goal, I think subconsciously I was thinking, yeah, 1-0, but City are going to score a goal, right? So we haven't won the game yet, and it's pretty early on. But for you, what was your emotions like going through the disallowed goal, the goal scored, and everything, the penalty save? Because it was an emotional game. It wasn't a simple 1-0 win. There's a lot that happened for that win.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's exactly as you said. The first goal, that I just had nightmares thinking back to Man City 2016. So I had just become a Palace fan then. So for me personally, I actually became a fan. Went to the Palace Beer Festival with my father-in-law back in like 2015, and just, you know, a few season ticket holders that we met up with made a joke and said, you can only come in if you decide to become a Palace fan. And I went, yeah, sure, I'll go with that. Became a Palace fan on the spot. And of course, 2016 FA Cup final, watched it in the pub and was just devastated. And when that Eze goal went in, yeah, I celebrated. You've got his VAR. I couldn't see it. I was up the other end, so I couldn't really see the goal go in. I just saw everyone get up and started screaming, basically. But in the back of my mind, I just thought, oh no, one goal isn't enough. Thinking about Man United, thinking, right, let's get that second. And then when the Munoz one went in, that was when I celebrated. It was at the right time. It just felt like that was going to be it. There was nothing City could have done to come back from it. So, and then obviously to get it ruled out was devastating. Then the 10 minutes of extra time goes up and you're just thinking, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Longest 10 minutes of my life. I'm sure longest 10 minutes of all our lives, probably. So yeah, my emotion for the first goal was just, I was just worried. I was just scared and worried and just thinking, it's great that we've got that advantage, but given the way that City were playing, just wave after wave of attack, we were defending well, but I thought if the game continues like this, I don't know what's going to happen. And then, yeah, Munoz goal, absolutely brilliant. But I tell you what, I celebrated the most, I think, apart from the final whistle, was Dino's penalty save. The double save. I mean, I celebrated that, I think, more than I celebrated the goal. Maybe not more than I celebrated full time, but you know, just that was a pivotal moment for me where I just started to believe that it was going to happen for us. So the penalty save is right up there with my moment of the match, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? I was confident going into the game, but some of the stuff that happened during the game, I was like, here we go, typical. Like, it's just going to happen. Like, there's no way we're going to win the game. It sounds so negative, but I was like, what was it, the 97th minute? I was thinking, yeah, go on. When are City going to score? We just know it's going to happen. We've been there in the cup final in 2016, and when's the last time we kept the clean sheet against Man City? I don't know. I genuinely don't remember, but it might be in the Townsend goal game? No, did they score in that game? I can't even remember. But it's just it doesn't happen. Like we don't beat City 1-0 or keep a clean sheet. And especially in the cup final, I'm just so used to disappointment. Like it's just gonna happen. Like and it didn't. It didn't. And that's the best feeling. And it didn't happen because Glasner I think said it himself. Like you play this game 9 times out of 10, we might not win it. And you do need a bit of luck, and we did get a bit of luck.
And what did he say to Pep Guardiola after the drubbing?
Exactly. He said that he's going to figure out the system. And I think that's one of the coldest lines dropped by a manager because we only lost. We conceded 5 goals against them what was it? Last month now? Yeah, it was last month. And a month later in the cup final, we concede 0, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The fact that he dropped that line. And this is the thing. We'll talk about the future later on. But this manager has all my backing, and I think the owners know that as well. So it's just a great time to be a Palace fan. There's a lot of positivity. You know, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. In the short term, I'm looking forward to Tuesday and the parade. In the long term, after the season's done, we can start talking about how many players do we need because we'll be going on a European tour. Like that's happening. Palace is it's going to be part of the draw. So look, it's a great time to be a Palace fan. It was some of these moments I just thought it's too good to be true. There's no way they're going to miss a penalty. There's no way they're not going to score a goal. And it happened, and not only because of luck, but down to the players. Because as I said, 2 players ended the game in hospital. Hopefully they're all fine, and I think they should be fine. But it just shows that everyone put their bodies on the line and. Man, we absolutely deserved it. But as I said, there's a lot of people waiting. Anything else you want to say, Winters, before we rotate and bring on more people as well?
No, for sure. I've had my say. So, I'll stick around and listen to everybody else. I'm really enjoying hearing the stories, but that's all from me. I just can't believe it. And up the freaking Palace.
Up the Palace. Appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
I've got to shoot off, mate.
All right, cool, Nick.
Can I just say a big up to Henry and his 1 red and 1 blue sock? I saw him on the marks yesterday. I've got a film of him going a bit mental with me before the game. So it was good to see Henry. It's good to see Pat right at the end there. Although Chris took a great photo of me and Pat because we just like embraced and we were like both saying at last. But the photo makes it look like we're in an airport.
Yeah, Nick. You know what's funny though? You know, I saw your brother at the end of the 2016 final, and then I saw you at the end of this final. So I know who the best brother is to see at the end of a cup final. That would be you. Don't tell me I said that, by the way. Don't tell me I said that.
We'll find out somehow. Anyway, look, everybody is
Great
great
to see you,
to the show.
I'll see you soon.
Shame I didn't see you, but everybody I did see, big up, and I'll see you on Tuesday at Selhurst.
And then the parade on Monday.
Enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, then, Nick. Take care.
All right, take care, buddy.
Tom, I know you haven't had your say, and then move to No Sunday, and we'll get Tim and Alex because, of course, they've done a watch along, so it'd be nice to talk about their experience. I watched the watch along back. It was nice. I will talk about it anyway. But Tom, let's go over to you. Palace FA Cup winners. We've done it. First time in our history. Literally, the floor is yours. You can talk about how you felt. You can talk about whatever you want. You can talk about Europe. You can talk about a manager. Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hey, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, my voice is gone.
I don't blame you. My voice was gone. Now it's slowly coming back. Like my voice never goes as well. The fact that my voice even went is just crazy. But it just shows.
Yeah, I mean, I was ill like all of last week, and it just come back, and then the final, and it's wraps. But man, yesterday was the best day of my life. Honestly, I thought, I just couldn't believe it. It felt like every single one of them, and seeing the reaction after from on the pitch, their reaction felt like every single one of them was a lifelong Palace fan, and I think that was my favourite part of it. As well as winning a trophy, obviously, but just the reaction I thought was like unbelievable. And I mean, I was upper tier. So I was in like block 134 in the semis. So the atmosphere in the semis for me personally was better. But I mean, yesterday it was absolutely mad. Like the tifo, everything. Green Man before as well. Like no, it was not. D actually. I think I saw you at the Green Man. I was gonna say
Yeah,
hello, but
I was there.
you
I
were
was there,
chatting to someone, so I didn't want to interrupt. But
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
probably
yeah,
getting a
no,
beer, Tom, too. Probably getting a beer at the time.
I
he
don't
was,
drink
he
that.
was, he was. He had a sticker on his back as well. He had a
Yes,
sticker on
yeah,
his back.
Louis put it there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Louis put it there. Yeah, exactly. I saw
Yeah.
him put it on his back. Yeah.
that's class. Yeah. One thing I will say, I know I'm sort of want to rotate and all that, but one thing I will say, lads, let's book flights to Istanbul next year. We win it.
I've
We
been
win
there
it.
so
We
many
genuinely
times.
win it.
It's
We
like
win
any
it.
other flight for me, but yeah, to see
We
Palace
win
play
it.
will be exciting. Yeah, my family lives in Istanbul, so I mean, I think
Free
it's going to be great.
accommodation. Free accommodation.
Yeah, free accommodation. Yeah, I don't know how many Palace fans I can fit in one house, but but yeah,
Guys, we
in terms
win
of
that.
yeah,
We win that. Have you seen the projected
coefficient
Bratislava
rankings.
area?
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
man.
But that's the thing. Look, this is a crazy
Wait,
thing that we're even talking about.
Hold on, time out. You guys still projected Europa League pots already?
Yeah.
Are you really
Well,
doing that?
as I said, Patrick, there's no rules. You can talk about
No,
whatever.
I'm just asking. Have
It's
people actually
just-
done that? I haven't done that.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
being honest. I haven't. Have people done that? Really?
HLTCO,
Oh,
HLTCO
damn.
Twitter.
Okay. Good for him. All right,
He's
listen.
shared it on there. Yeah, it's not his.
Enjoy. Listen, enjoy it. That's I didn't know that was
It's
out.
crazy.
That's
It's the fact that when I saw that, I was like, it's not Football Manager. This is real life. Like, Football
Also,
Manager.
we're pot 3. I'm sorry. Why are we pot 3?
I don't know, but that could change depending on the team.
FA Cup champions with a Europa League winning manager. Why are we pot 3?
We
But
have
I
no
think-
points. We're brand new, so we don't
Yeah,
have
we're brand new. We've
any
never
points of
experienced
Yeah,
comparison.
yeah,
Some
true.
people
Yeah,
saying
I
we might be
suppose.
pot 4. Well, we'll take. Give me whatever pot as long as Palace are there.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
that
To be
matters.
fair, you'd rather be in it than
Yeah, exactly. I don't care about. I'm not fussed about the pot. I'm just fascinated the fact that we're even in a pot. Like the funniest thing about this is that we're 12th. But once again, we're somehow found Europe. I think we just cursed to be 12. Just like even when we're 12, we got a trophy and we're going European football. It's just unreal. It's just unreal. Like it's the most Palace way to get European football, but not winning a trophy, of course, because that hasn't happened before. But just being 12th and somehow talking about Europe and actually being confirmed as one of the teams there is unreal. But for you, Tom, are you going to go on Tuesday? What's your plans from here onwards?
Yeah, I can't. I'm visiting my girlfriend. She lives in Peterborough, so I'm visiting her. So I won't be there at Selhurst, which is pretty gutting. I had half a mind to text her and be like, needs must. But nah, it's
Hey.
I was there for the trophy lift yesterday. So
Are you going to go to the parade or?
yeah, definitely. Do we know when it is?
So it's Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, the 26th. But timings, what's going on, no clue. But all I know is on the Bank Holiday Monday. That's when the parade.
Really?
Is.
Okay.
Yeah, Bank Holiday Monday. But yeah, it'll be great to catch up with you there. I know there'll be a lot of people who's watching this as well. But any other last words you want to say? Any other thing on your mind?
R.I.P. Rivalry of Brighton. Ended. Finito. Done.
He really is. I mean, that must be. I can't even imagine being a Brighton fan. Literally, you've seen Palace win.
They can't ever chat to us. I sent
Tom,
a message.
That's a great point. But I
Yeah,
remember
it's done.
during the cup run, I had told D I wanted them in the final to beat them, so we could. But even that means even now they can never, ever talk about trophies, because no matter what, we've got the first major over them. So it's so brilliant. But yeah, that's a great point, man. Brighton are lifetime mudded. I love it.
I sent a couple of hours after we won, a guy at uni who's a Brighton season ticket holder. I sent him a message. I was like, anything to say? He was like, nah, sharp. I was it's finished, man. It's finished.
They can't. We've done a double over them this year. Won an FA Cup.
Block them from getting Europe. Block them from getting Europe.
Exactly. Like they can't. They literally cannot speak to us. They literally cannot. I think it's over. It's like
this is their worst ever season. Besides, when we beat them to promotion from Division 2, Division 1. This is their worst ever season in the history of that club. And they're what? 8th? What are they in the league?
9th, 10th.
No, that's what I'm saying. And it's their worst season ever. It's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You know what? I haven't really thought about him as much, to be fair.
That's the thing.
I'm so busy in the fact that I've been trying to process whether like we won a trophy. That's amazing. And also the bonus is what I can't process. The fact that we got European football. That's the thing that I can't process. Like, it's like too much. It's too much. I'm not used to this. Everything's happening at the same time. I'm seeing Europa League talk on a timeline, and we're not talking about, can we achieve European football? We're there. I'm seeing pictures of the trophy and the players posting it the day after as well. I'm seeing videos, I'm seeing interviews. I'm just trying to process everything. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm just trying to like soak it all in. So Brighton, I'll be honest, is a great point, but it's not really been even in the back of my mind like that, to be fair, as much. But look, Tom, great having you on. Hopefully we come on the show again and the match.
Definitely.
It'll be good. All right, then take care, Tom.
100%. Nice to see you guys.
See you. Tim, do you want to jump in? Alex, no sir. Like, it's up to you. Like at this point, whoever.
No, let's go. No, sir. Yeah, we had a bunch of time on there yesterday.
All right, cool. No sir.
How you
feeling, bro?
How you doing?
We've won it. FA Cup winners.
Yeah,
European football confirmed.
I'm
parade next week Monday.
No sir.
Yeah. Talk to me.
Before you go, actually, I did not think if asked. How do you become a Palace fan? I'm just wondering. How are you a Palace fan? I need to know.
Obviously, growing up, I was a football fan. I wasn't really a fan. I like Drogba, so I had a lot. I like Drogba a lot. But everyone in my family is United. Like my mum, my dad, my 3 brothers, they're all United. My cousins.
Right.
So, obviously, my little brother had trials at Palace years ago. This was like 13, 14. He's like 24. Okay. So yeah, he was a teenager. It wasn't successful, unfortunately. But then a couple of years later, my friend, his mum, had box tickets at Palace. Obviously, I'm from South London, but I'm on the other side. I live in like Abbey Wood, Woolwich area. So it's the top other side of South London. So I still like Palace, but my friend had box tickets for Palace against Watford. I think it was 1-0. Adebayo scored. I can't remember. It was a dead game anyways. But yeah, it was against Watford. It was a draw that we won. I can't remember. But then after that, I just had an affinity with Palace. Like every time they was playing, I used to watch them. And obviously, I went to uni, and then it was just before I went to uni, and the Palace and United match was on in the final. And ever since then, I just liked them. And because I met like players like Wan-Bissaka, I knew of him, and I knew his mutual friends as well. So I had a liking. Of it. Obviously, it just grew. And then it was the season where, I think it was when, I can't remember the season exactly, but I think it was 17, 18. I went to like 4 or 5 games, bought tickets, but I went by myself, and it just grew. It grew much more than that. And then I think when we started getting, when we started being a more solidified team in the Prem, like my love for Palace has just been growing ever since. I mean, it's not like your typical Palace story where you're hearing people that are going with their dads, their granddads from way back in the 60s and 70s. But, I still have a stronghold of the club. I'm from South London. And it's yesterday I was just too gassed, man. I was too gassed. I can't explain for words how to feel, but I'm happy that all the fans that are watching are just excited for the team. And, Palace, it means a lot to me because we're actually going to Europe. When you put that in the same sentence, I can't even comprehend it. Palace going to Europe, having away days. My Amex card is going to run up. I'm excited.
Literally, I'm not even joking. I called Amex today because I was like, maybe yesterday I might spend too much money. I was like, are you sure this is my actual balance? And that was after FA Cup final. They'll calculate. They're like, yeah, this is your balance. I was like, okay, fair enough. If you say so. Okay, interesting. But not even just that. I think it's just crazy the thought of having European games at Selhurst in Fort Neath.
Yeah, under the light.
That feels a bit crazy in itself. Like, yeah, we're going to have away days and let's see who we get in the draw. That's down the line. But the fact that some of these European teams are going to be coming here, not for pre-season friendly, but we're going to be Thursday nights and you're going to hear the Europa League anthem, and it's like, what? Exactly, yeah. When that happens, I'm gonna be singing. I'm gonna have my hand on my heart. I'm just gonna be singing it like it's the Champions League anthem. It's gonna be unreal. But is that thought as well? It's like I never thought I'd see European football.
Wait. Are we gonna be doing watch along for Europa League play ratings and previews for those two?
I'm trying. I had like a 5 second.
We need more people. We need more people. Seriously,
we're gonna need a pay rise, D. I'm gonna need a pay rise.
I don't know how. I need another D at this point. Pause. But no. Like, how on earth am I gonna handle everything together? Like, I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know how you're gonna do match previews.
So, for those who don't know, D does all the background stuff and he stresses out. Right? You're gonna add in Europa League games on Thursdays. He's done out here.
I guess we got kind of a glimpse of it this year. We've had a bit of feel of a Wednesday, Thursday.
We did.
Yeah. And trust me, I was not happy.
He was not. You don't like midweek games.
When it's European football, I guess. Yeah, when it's European football, I guess it's kind of different, isn't it? I can look forward to it. And when I'm finding an opposition preview that's a Roma fan, it's kind of different, you know. It's kind of different, even though I love everyone that comes on anyways in Premier League. But yeah, I speak to them quite often. It'll be interesting to find everyone else. But yeah, you mentioned European football, and I think that means a lot for us. But also the fact that we had, for me, the part of the story which hasn't really been mentioned yet is we had a guy who grew up in South London scoring the winning goal to win Palace the first trophy. Like, that is an unreal experience as well, is it?
Yeah, it's crazy because yeah, he's from South London, and obviously he went through trials and tribulations just to be a professional footballer. And to showcase that great, you know, all the adversity he went through, and just the score in the biggest stadium in English football for a team that's never won a major competition, it's amazing. And you can see the fans, especially when he scored, man, and when the final whistle went, it was crazy. It was amazing. Obviously I didn't go to the match, unfortunately, but I was in Croydon Box Park, and yeah, man, a lot of the fans were crying. I never grew up in the area. Like I said, I'm on the other side of South London. So when you actually take in the moment and actually see people that grew up in the area, grew around Thornton Heath, Croydon, Norwood, wherever it may be, and you can see tears of joy, grown men crying. It just showcases how much this means, you know, the moment for the community, for the city, and like, especially Eze. I'm happy for him. I'm not happy the fact that he might move in the summer, but I'm happy for him.
New start. Could I just ask? Sorry to cut you, bro. Are you still in the Abbey Wood, Woolwich area now?
Yeah.
So I work near Woolwich Plumstead, so I know the area very well. So for starters, we can do halves on certain games, bro, after work. So don't worry about that. I've got you, bro. One quick bus, blood. We got this. Don't worry about that. Me and you. But do you know what I find fascinating as well in an area like that one, and I'm sure you can abide to this as well, those areas are very Charlton Millwall area heavy.
That's true.
So that's going to be really fun walking around those kind of areas with my shirt on, to be fair. Or
to be honest,
if I'm going to work, I'll be wearing a jacket anyway.
Yeah, when I came back from the match to a car to the public transport, I didn't want to drive. There was a lot of Millwall fans and Charlton fans coming to me saying, "Well done, mate." None of them was being too aggressive.
Really?
Most neutral fans were like, they were being nice. Even the our ops, or whatever you want to call them, our rivals, they were doing all right. Like, I met a couple.
That's great.
And yeah, well done, mate. Like, they weren't being aggressive or anything, but it was good. A lot of neutral fans were in support of Palace. I saw yesterday, and to be fair, Man City fans were, when you went through Central to come back out to other way of South, they were quite good. You know, they were very respectful. And to be honest with you, I can't remember who said it, but I don't know if it was you, Pat, but one of the guys said they can understand, you know, going through the period of just like adversity and then coming out and actually being successful in a competition. So it was amazing for the most part. I'm a bit nervous even talking about it now, man. I can't even explain it. I can't express myself fully, but it's an amazing, just amazing feat for the club, you know, the area. And there's something that Glasner said. I'm not too sure if you guys saw the post-match like interviews. He said this win is for like the everyday people in the area, like going through all their struggles, their work-related, traumas and everything like that, their family traumas, and winning this, it just alleviates all that pain. It suppresses all that pain you're going through at home, and it's just a wonderful moment and just an amazing time just to be a Palace fan or just be a South Londoner, because a lot of South Londoners, they're happy, of course, apart from like Millwall and Charlton fans, but a lot of South Londoners are happy. Like, on the parade, the 26th, you're going to see neutral fans come there. You're going to see a lot of the South Londoners come to the parade on that day. So
you know what? No, so real quick, because I know Chris.
Yeah, we love Arsenal fans. That's a funny thing.
Clark works for the Croydon Council also. I think that's gonna affect, honestly, the whole feel in the community because the Palace won the FA Cup. Honestly,
it will 100%.
Okay, Chris.
I'm too excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely going to change the atmosphere in the area. I mean, I'll say across the political divide. I mean, everyone knows. I am a member of the Labour Party. I'm a Labour councillor. But right across the political spectrum, you've got people who support other parties, including the democratically elected mayor of Croydon, who's a Conservative. He's a season ticket holder at Palace. I saw people in the pubs. Over last night, both around Wembley and then in Croydon itself, of all different types, and they were all coming over and sharing their joy. The atmosphere in the town is going to be fantastic, and I know that the talks about a potential event were already starting to happen as a contingency in case, but obviously you don't jinx it by doing that stuff publicly.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Do you have any inside information about what's gonna?
Because
I saw Tottenham. Tottenham had to. They're doing it on a Friday because of they had to get permission, of course, from the locals and stuff. So I guess Palace probably spoke to the council and the relative officials. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what time we do it, how long you're going for, where we'll do it. Because I don't know if it'll be at the stadium. Could we go to Box Park? But Box Park ain't big enough.
No, it's not big enough.
Yeah, it can't be big. So do we go stadium? I don't know. Let's see what happens. But it's a nice time to have. Where we're gonna do the parade?
How about Fairfoot Halls? Just joking.
No.
I'd love it if it was in my patch. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's like play awards rather than a trophy type of zone. I don't know. There's enough places for us to go and do it. Anything else you want to add, Nosa?
No, if anyone's going to the parade on the next week, I'll see you guys there and just have a nice. Take it all in. Hopefully, we'll win a Europa next season.
Nice one, Nosa. Nice one. Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Who should we go to next? I just feel like I'm under pressure because I don't want to keep Tim and Alex waiting. And
I kind of enjoy this more almost because I don't have to speak and I just listen. And for once, you don't have to hear me.
Yeah, I mean, your reactions yesterday were brilliant.
Thank you.
And it was
go to Luke. Keep going, man. You don't need to prioritize us, man. We talked a lot yesterday.
Yeah. All right, cool. We'll go to Luke, and then afterwards, we'll go to Cupid Stunt. Luke, the floor's yours. Yes, I saw you, of course. I bumped into the Green Man. I told you called into the show.
Hello, Luke. Saw you yesterday too. How are you, mate?
I'm all good. I'm good. Tired.
Long day. Long day.
2025 winners. Let's go. We're the champions. Come on.
How does it feel for you? Of course, you've been supporting Palace for how long?
So I moved. So I grew up in Croydon.
Yeah.
I haven't really been to much football, but when I moved into my home, so I've been brought up in a foster home.
Okay.
And me and my brother, we went to a lot of games. Hang on, give me a minute.
No. Take your time. That's fine. Patrick, have you seen my message? Private chat. Do you mind taking over for a bit?
I just did. Go ahead. I'm good. Yeah, go ahead. But I can't remember. I don't have. But remember, wait. I'm not home, so I don't have the ability to do anything with the background stuff. Because this is not my.
Oh no, there's no. Oh yeah. There's no background. But I can. Let me bring.
Okay, we're good. Okay, no problem. That's fine. All right.
So,
all right, cool. All right. Yeah, I can. No problem. All right, go ahead.
But I'll still be listening in the background.
Do you got to do? Go ahead.
Yeah. Message
Is
me if
Luke
you need
still
anything.
Luke still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Luke. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
Your story.
it's a long one, but I want to keep it sweet. 'Cause, I just haven't been to a lot of games. I think I followed Palace like probably from the 08 season. And I just haven't been to a lot of games when I was a little child, but when I started to follow Palace, it was just like the atmosphere just got me when I was at the games. And ever since I went to games with my brother and my family and everyone else, the atmosphere just got to me. And like, that's the reason I supported Palace. Like, when I'm in the stands, the atmosphere, when I hear like the Homesdale, it's just, the atmosphere just gets to me. And yesterday was so good, man. And even just over the years, watching so many teams, from our crap teams to our good teams now, it's just amazing. Like, I don't know, man. It's just everything about this club. It's just to where we are now. I'm just amazed, really. It's just everything.
Luke, who'd you go with? Who'd you share it with?
My brother, he's the one I share it with the most.
Right.
We travel home and away.
That's amazing.
Like, we travel home and away a lot. We're quite fortunate, really. So, yeah.
What sticks out about yesterday? Like, my son came on, and I'm so proud of what he said, about, the day. Again, my fondest memory will always be the fact that he was there. Again, we weren't sitting together, but the fact he was able to be there is the biggest thing for me. I really am so happy. But again, I spent the day with Dee and Louis, and I was so emotional at the end. But for me, have my son share that moment will never ever be taken away from me. So what's going to be your fondest memory of that cup win?
Lifting the trophy at the end. I've got videos on my phone, but when the players, because I was in block 128, so I was on one of the corner flags. But when they lifted the trophy in front of the HF, and then they ran round to where I was sitting, and they were lifting the trophy in front of me. That's so good, man.
Yeah, you were lucky. I was in 135. I mean, by the time they got to me, because you're lucky they went around to you guys first, started going the other way.
Yeah.
That was actually class by them to do that. And again, I remember I mentioned before the Joe Ward part of it, him being able to lift that trophy, man. I think that's one of the best things in our club history. The fact he's going to be leaving, but what he's done for this club from 20. When he came up when we got promoted, 2012,
2012.
Right, exactly, to now. And to get to his last major gesture lifting the club, that cup is amazing. And I'm so happy for him because Joe Ward's been a prototypical leader, the kind of player that people have said, oh, why is he still on the club? There's a reason why Joe Ward's been in the club for so long. It's not all about what you do on the pitch, because you need players like that in the background to be leaders, to mentor players, to set the example, to come on against Brighton when you're down to 9 men and see us out to a brilliant win. I mean, I'm so happy for Joe Ward. I'm happy, obviously, for Mark Gay. He has the team captain, but as a club captain, Joe Ward deserves a lot of praise, and I'm so happy he got to do that one final gesture for us yesterday.
And we got Europe. Let's go.
Yeah. Vinny, welcome. Your thoughts on yesterday or on the cup?
Sorry, Patrick, before you go, I've just got to bounce. But you know what? Hearing you lot stories has been amazing. And I'm going to go celebrate, have some more beer and wine. Up the Palace, lads.
All right,
Love
thanks,
you,
AJ.
Beautiful.
Appreciate it. All right, take care. Right, bye-bye, AJ. Vinny?
Hello, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, mate, I'm a mess today. The emotions of yesterday were unbelievable. Like, I mean, I was there with my kids, and just the whole day from start to finish, like, just from getting on the train, getting up there. We went to Covent Garden first, and that was unbelievable. My kids, the joy on my kids' face throughout the whole day, I can't put words to it. Like, it was it was unbelievable. Like, it's emotional. You're getting emotional now because of it. Like, just to see the joy on their faces, because they haven't had to know what I've been through as a Palace fan. Like, all the lows, like some of you know, like administration, all that stuff. And to see it all yesterday and for us to win, and now no one can doubt us ever again. Like, no one can say, oh, you're a small club, you haven't won anything. Enough of that. That's it. We're done. We got it. It's unbelievable.
Vinny,
Like,
that is a great point. I mean, people who support Palace I've never done it for the glory ever, but it used
no.
to always bother me that clubs like West Ham and Tottenham, Arsenal in particular, just the London clubs, whatever Fulham would make that comment about, oh well, you never won a major trophy, and the fact that we can actually say we have now is brilliant. I mean, Palace fans won't go to Fulham fans say, well, you never won. We don't do that, but we don't listen to West Ham that's about many, or even, well, I was gonna say QPR, but QPR, did they win the FA Cup? They won the League Cup for sure. I know that. So it's not, having not to hear that is like one of the best feelings ever. But I'm sorry. Continue with your thoughts on yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember much of the game. I got to be honest. The moments I do, like, I was way up, like right by the corner flag. So obviously saw the goal, and that, well, place erupted. My kids are crying. It's unbelievable. Red card decision. Everyone around me, we were like, what's this for? Why VAR looking like? We had no clue what was going on. We didn't know if it was for us, if it was for City. Like, it wasn't until after the game and you look on your phone and whatever, did I like, oh, yeah, we may have got away with one, but we deserved that, I think. Because I've got to say, like, when City are losing, they are dirty. Like, they are dirty and they cheat, and not enough gets said about it, I don't feel, because they were kicking everyone and they got away with a few. So, and the penalty wasn't a penalty because Mitchell got a touch on it. Like, so it's all swings and roundabouts. It all evens itself out in the end, and we won the cup. So don't care.
Yeah. Real quick, how long have you been a Palace supporter for?
What are we talking now? Honestly, right, I'll have to tell you now. Like, my granddad and my dad, Palace fans for life, like, through and through. Unfortunately, they both passed away, so they didn't get to see what happened yesterday. I was about 5-ish, I'll say, and my favourite colour was blue, so I was leaning towards being Everton, because this is mid-80s when it was Liverpool and Everton rivalries. And I was starting to go towards Everton, and like, my dad and my granddad took me up to Selhurst Park. No, that was it. There was no other club for me. So from
That's
about
brilliant.
mid-late 80s, I've seen it all. I've seen everything this club's done. Don't get to go as much as I like, but I'll tell you, I wouldn't have any other club.
You'll always have yesterday forever.
Oh,
So
well, this is it. Like, I've been talking to people like who support all the bigger clubs, and they're like, oh, it'd be like if we, like Arsenal, they were like, oh, it'd be like if we won the Champions League for the first time. It's not the same, because you've won stuff before. We've never, like, only clubs that have never won anything can understand what happened yesterday. The emotion at full time, I don't care. I didn't see a dry eye in the house. Did not see it. We were all in tears. I'm hugging my kids. My kids are jumping around. Everyone around me is doing the same. It's like, you're not going to get, like, we could win everything from now on in. I don't think it will match that moment yesterday.
I
Premier
agree.
League, Champions League, I don't care. It's not going to match what we did yesterday, because it's the first, and you don't forget your first time.
That's a great way of putting it. You're absolutely right. Are you still there?
Yeah. Still here. You can hear me?
Yeah. Did you go to the game?
Oh no, it was too expensive for me. I had to watch it all.
Talk about your feelings having watched the game.
Oh, like, goddamn nerves were like tenfold, like building up day after day till yesterday. And so I watched it with my dad's. Like, he's not a Palace fan. He's a Chelsea fan. He wanted us to win because he wants me to be happy. So when that goal went in, I belted out as any sane football fan that hasn't seen a team be on the cusp of winning something does. Yeah, I'm yesterday. I'm a day old that I found out that even if your feet are in the box, you can't whack the ball with your hands.
We could
I
talk
was
about
iffy
that,
on
but I
that
don't
one.
want to go into that whole Henderson thing because it's very interesting between that and then the situation after the game when Pep goes at him. But yeah, I was in the ground as Chris was, and I never understood what the VAR was about. They should explain it better, but I'm shocked. Having watched it back, I'm shocked they didn't get a red card for that. I don't understand it, but anyway, continue. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, then the penalty. Like he said it himself. Like because it's Malmouche, he knew where he was going, and he had the confidence of that, and bringing up memories of 1988. I wasn't born in '88, obviously, so that's what my dad kept saying. Like, this is all reminiscent of Wimbledon's FA Cup win against Liverpool in 1988. So I might have to. I don't know. I haven't watched any of that game other than that penalty and their goal. So I guess I have to agree.
Yeah, the Crazy Gang versus the Culture Club, they called that game back in '88. So it's a very, very famous game. But yeah.
So second half, we score again, celebrating. Then I see it hit Sarr on the way, and I'm just okay. So I don't know if I want to admit this, but like during the last few minutes, I had to take a walk, so I couldn't handle it anymore.
That's fair.
And then my dad gives me a call that you've done it, and I hugged everyone in the house. They're not Palace fans, but they're fucking happy for me. That's what it's all about. Because I've seen my dad's team Chelsea win everything, but other than I'm sorry, I'm fumbling words. I've seen my dad win. I've seen my dad's team Chelsea win the Champions League. That was the like happiest he's ever been. He saw him win it. Saw him see Chelsea win it twice, and I thought, will I ever have that experience? And I got to have that.
So I got to ask. I'm sorry if you've answered the question before. How did you become a Palace fan if your dad's Chelsea? Then just curious.
He tried to make me a Chelsea fan. He took me to he took me to a game. I believe it was actually know the scoreline because it was a high scoring one. It was against Aston Villa, and 4-4. But I didn't like it. And I didn't want to be there. But then, give it a few years later, my granddad, who's not a Palace fan, he was in the South Coast. He was a Portsmouth. He watched Portsmouth when he was a kid. He had someone who supports Palace. He got a season ticket the first season he went up. He took me to one of the games. It was like the day after I turned 13. For some reason I remember that scoreline as well. Like it was 1-0 we won 1-0 Stoke, and Puncheon scored it, I believe, because all I remember from that season is Puncheon scoring a goal, and that's it. We win a game because Puncheon scored, and it went off from there. Unfortunately, my granddad passed away like a couple of years ago, and that's kind of one thing I never got to. That's the one person I never got a hug about it, because without him, I don't think I'd be supporting this team. So,
yeah.
heart goes out to him.
Anything else you want to talk about as far as yesterday's match? What it means to you as far as like even like the Europa? I know you do a lot of those really great short videos. Have you done one for the FA Cup final yet? By the way, I've not been on at all social media today.
I only made an intro for it. I haven't started it yet because I've been with wanting to chat about this day.
So be ready. That's going to get a lot of views, I feel. So be ready for that one. So I look forward to seeing it. So
I'm sorry.
Appreciate you all. Jamal, how are you? You're on mute. You want to just talk quickly about yesterday? I know you weren't at the match because I see you, but I can see you still in Barbados by your background.
I wasn't at the match. Yeah, I wasn't there. I couldn't get any tickets, Patrick. I couldn't get any tickets. The Palace fans bought all of them. Tim and team bought all the tickets, man.
Tell me how you feeling? How you feeling about the FA Cup win?
All emotions. All emotions. Normally I have a lot to say, but this time I don't have anything to say. It was all euphoric, as Tim would understand from yesterday.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible.
When the whistle went, my eyes were just full. My eyes were just full. I heard when he talk about what people said, not how I feel, because as I said, it's hard for me to talk about. But everything everyone said so far is on point. The feelings, the emotions. I cannot ever remember feeling like this over football. I know you got other things in life you could talk about. Our life is a journey. We get kids, we get married, etc. But the feeling is you can't create these feelings even if you wanted to. From what most people have said is that there was involuntary emotional breakdowns in a good way, right? In a good way. Because you would not say before a game that you're gonna cry or you're gonna hug a stranger, right? Or you're gonna celebrate and lose your voice. You can't predict that. It just happened. Almost like a happening then, if you understand what I'm trying to say. It's like a once in a lifetime event that happened to us first the Palace fans, that I believe that no matter whatever happens, it can never be repeated. So I cannot express my feelings to you all. I can only experience them for myself, and I can tell you that it's euphoric. And that's me.
Actually, you know what? I wanna ask Chris Clark. I don't know if I spoke to you yesterday about it. Chris, final whistle, like how did you react, and who was there with you, by the way, around you?
Right, yeah. So I mean, basically, I broke down. I was already very much just feeling it in my chest. I was absolutely bereft because I felt the same when Puncheon scored when we went ahead in 2016. It was too soon, oh no, whereas this time, finally, we were going to do it. I was with my girlfriend Louise.
Okay.
I had Nick and Will just in front of us, and my mate Luke, and we just went into a massive circle hug.
Man, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Did you hug any strangers? Because I did. Did you hug any strangers?
Yeah. There was a guy behind me who was obviously on his own, and I would say he was probably about your age, and he was silent and just he was welling up. And Louise nudged me and said, "This guy needs a hug," and I just came out, "Come here," and that was it. We didn't talk. I just held him.
Funny you say that, because
that's what it means.
The video I sent to my friends has me breaking down, but the woman in front of me looks at me and goes, "Come here," and just gave me a massive hug when I was crying. It was amazing. It happened right if I stopped videotaping shit, and I was like, "Wow!" And then from that point on, like everyone in that area, because I'm telling you, I'm not gonna say. I don't think I actually saw D cry. Louis definitely cried. Louis' dad cried. All Louis' friends are crying. I gotta ask him to get back on if he comes back, if D actually cried.
Yeah.
But everyone, every person around me, and I looked ahead of me because Richard Eagle football was ahead of me. I saw him and JC, they were ahead of me. They were crying. Like I had some other friends around. This great kid that came from Philadelphia, this friend of my son was everybody was bawling at the final whistle, either right away or at some point during the presentation of the cup, whatever. So I just wanted to kind of find out, because that was crazy. Jamal, I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, Jamal. Anything you want to add? Because I want to go on to another American, Tim, and he's gone. Sorry. Before I get to you, Tim, is this the animal that's in our chat, or is that a different animal?
Yeah. I need to know. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, this is the animal. Yeah.
From our infamous chats.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So you come on when D and Louis aren't here. Interesting.
I know. I'm sorry.
I can't believe it that you're on video when they're not here.
You missed it, yeah.
But
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry because Tim was on first. But Tim, the other Tim, your thoughts on the game yesterday? You're mute. You're mute.
There we go. All right, can you hear me good?
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. And I feel like an actual imposter in this show because I've only been a Palace fan this is my second full season, and it was one of the best days of my life. So I cannot imagine what it was like for lifelong fans like you all. But I just wanted to thank you for this show because it's letting me know the depth of feeling you all have being lifelong Palace fans. I mean, I was wearing my Chris Richards shirt every time he touched it. We were in an American bar here in Washington, and every time he touched the ball, we would start going USA. And the City fans in the same bar were very generous. They were very nice to us. But I don't have any deep thoughts. But I just wanted to let you know that I do really appreciate the show. There's my dog. So I got to go. But thank you. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you.
No, thank you, Tim. Animal, before you go, I just want to talk about that whole American part because obviously my son's American. I'm American, even though I was born in England, and there really is a massive underground support for Palace. It always kind of has been. I think one of the reasons why is the Premier League bounce, and I want to talk about her now. Rebecca Lowe, she does the NBC hosting for the Premier League show. She's a massive Palace fan. She was at Wembley yesterday with her son and her husband, and a good friend of mine, Will, actually knows Rebecca, and he flew over the same day as my son. He lives in Philadelphia, so I see him more and talk to him. He's in our group chat. Saw him yesterday at the Globe on the way to the match, and he actually knew Rebecca when she sat in the Homesdale with her dad. So I've never actually met her, but Will has when they have the what they call it again, Tim, the NBC when they do the when they do the shows.
The lowdown.
She does, yeah.
No, when they go on the road, those shows called again.
Twice
the
a year ones.
what do they call it? Is it the Fan Festival, Alex?
Yes, thank you. That's the word. The Fan Fest.
I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, Tim. I've been to one in Philadelphia. I've been to one in New York. So whenever she's there, she'll talk to Will. But the point is, because of someone like Rebecca, Palace have a much bigger fan base than they would have had before. But I will tell you now, FA Cup win is gonna make us even more popular. But let me stop there. Animal, your thoughts on the match? The famous Animal, by the way, the world famous, infamous Animal from our group chats. Well, from our chats.
I think everything that needs to be said about the match has been said, and hearing everybody's story has been amazing. So actually, I want to go down a little bit of a different route. And me being out here in Spain, having to watch the matches from a distance, and I know this probably applies for everybody else in the world. We've got Tim and Alex in America or Canada. We have Kevin in New Zealand. Yeah. We have a lot of people everywhere. So I just want to say, back of the nest, boys. You know, the work that you guys put in to making this platform for everybody happen. The Eagle Eye Football boys, Tristan and Palace Mad Mason, all the guys that I watch. I couldn't be more appreciative. You keep me connected to this club, even though I'm you know all the way out here. And you know, I think I'll get onto a bit about me. I've got a few screws up in my head loose. I think everybody can understand that from when I'm in chat. I'm a little bit crazy, and I speak with my heart and on my sleeve, and hopefully I try and keep everybody honest because it's you know it's how I go about my business. But I know that I rub people up the wrong way, and I'm a little bit controversial, and I know that a lot of people block me. But I want to say I love you all, and it's moments like this that we all live for, right?
Who's blocked Animal? I want to know. Any of you guys?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I think there's a few people that have probably had enough of my my craziness, but yeah, you know, I apologize if I've offended anybody during the course, but it's
No,
because I
nothing
care
but love.
and I care deeply about it, you know.
No, I think one of the things about being a fan of any team is that emotional part. There are days when you're going to be overly emotional and it comes out sometimes the right way, sometimes the wrong way. And there's days when it, you know, so I mean, that's just how it is. So no, I actually find it to be quite funny, especially when you go back and forth with Louis. I don't like when you pick on me as much, but then who would, right? But I mean, but I get it.
Nah,
Trust me, I get
exactly.
it. But go ahead, continue.
But listen, Patrick, listen, you are a voice that I respect very much, and I hope that
Thank you.
there have been times when I've like made you feel that way because it shouldn't be all sort of negative coming from me, and it isn't normally. It's just
No, it's not.
it's
It's
normally
not.
just
It's not.
it's normally just fight and talk, you know, a lot of the time and banter. But you know, I'm a dick, and the thing is that I'm your dick. Do you know what I mean? I'm Crystal Palace's dick. So as much as I'm a dick to you, I'm more of a dick to our rivals and our enemies. You know.
We can speak to that, Animal, because we had the Tottenham watch along, and a Spurs interloper showed up, and that was, you know, you have those things on YouTube which says, you know, so and so does thing and instantly regrets it. Animal showed up, and we had instant regret.
Yeah, why did we even like, you know, humor any of it? Is what I felt. Like,
So, Animal,
Oh, I love it.
question:
I love a bit about it. Go on.
Did you watch the game? Like, watch it, or did you watch it with the watch along? I'm just curious. Yesterday,
I watched it with Tim and Alex on the watch along, but I couldn't listen to it. I needed to have
Yeah.
I needed
I
to
got
have
ya.
zero spoilers, you know. So I kept them
Understand.
on silent. I stayed in the chat, but I watched it here with one of my mates who lives out here with me. He's Slovakian. He supports Manchester United.
Okay.
So he was very interested in the result.
Very much so. Yeah.
And the game was perfect. And actually, in the lead up to this game, I think the togetherness of our team has been absolutely fantastic. The focus and the determination that they've shown in the lead up to this game, it can't be understated. And these guys they should be proud of themselves, and we should be proud of them. And for me, we did it for Wardy, from our boy. And it was good to see some of the old boys there as well. You know, Roy and Steve, and you know,
Yeah.
it was just a perfect day.
Do you know what? You talk about the togetherness. I want to go to, and I'm sure we all watch it. If you didn't, let me know. The post-match speech that Glasner gave after the Villa match, to me, was a. People talk about the Man City comment he made, and I think that was important about Pep. I think he tried to get into Pep's head, and he did with the way he set out with that aggressive lineup. But I think that speech, when he talked about, you know, the togetherness and the moments and the fans, and he talked about in particular for me.
Oh, when he talked to the team itself?
Yeah, we talked in the dressing room. The dressing room was brilliant.
That gave
And
me
he talked
chills.
about the it gave me chills about the moments and the importance of it. And he talked about the 5-2 loss to City and the 5-0 loss to Newcastle, and how the group, and I mentioned how the group never got down on themselves. They never got down on themselves. And I think, as much as people talk about, and I'm a massive Glasner backer, I've never said a negative word about the man ever. I give him maybe a 7 in a crazy ratings once because I lost my mind. But for the most part, he does nothing wrong because I think he's that good. But I think, not only forget the tactics, as a man manager, he is unbelievable. there is not another manager that I could think of. Forget Palace manager, any manager that could have taken that squad yesterday and won an FA Cup. I don't believe it, because he has a combination of tactical awareness and togetherness to bring that team together, because we fought for 100 minutes and defended with all, like I think D mentioned, or my son mentioned it, you know, Wharton's concussion, Mark's eye socket being busted, having to bring on Lerma, you know. And I'll do it now. How good was Daichi Kamada, a guy who our fan base was killing, was brilliant. Why? Because the manager has backed him from day one. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to go on a whole rant, but I just think Klaus has done such a great job. And you brought up the part about to get this animal. That is to me because of the manager. But go ahead. Sorry.
Did you see the pre-match press conference where Mark and Oliver sat down together and addressed everything?
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. The press were trying to dig in there for sound bites, and they gave them nothing. It was all focus on the game, focus on the result. We don't think we can win. It's all about when we win, and you know that's how it goes. I think they're brilliant, and I don't want to talk about it much, but if I feel like we need to try and sort out a contract situation with Gay now, maybe.
I hope so.
I would be okay with him, you know, pulling a Trent and just running his contract out and see you later. It's not all about money. Sometimes you just want to keep them one more year. So
I also want to go on.
I want Alex and Tim. They've been on for at least an hour and they haven't had a chance. I want them to both join in, and then you can join in obviously too. But either one, Tim, talk about the watch along or the final or whatever, because you guys, I didn't get to watch it back yet. I've been very busy because I'm leaving tomorrow, but I did go to the goal and the last like 5 minutes to watch you guys, and I thought you guys were really great. But talk about how you felt yesterday watching that, because that was mad. That game was mad. Obviously.
You have to go first this time, Alex.
Okay, I can. Well, I had a prop with me. Yeah, I still have it. It's my lucky flag, and that was a part of it. I was just kind of grabbing it. It was like my cape. I was just holding it the last 10 minutes and stuff. Oh, geez. Well, first off, as an American, I do want to say I do sometimes feel like an imposter, because I feel like I feel so much more when I'm hearing from fans that have been there and live in England, and really just this is in their blood. And so I do feel like an imposter because I really care about this team and I love doing this, but I even like to hear that more. So like just hearing this, the first 30 minutes, hour is better than anything I can offer, I feel like, when we're doing the watch along and stuff like that. Like I'm very much like the other Tim, where it's like I'm a recent fan, and it felt so good to just be like, I don't know how we're doing this. Like especially the first 15 minutes. I don't know how we're doing this. Like it was unreal. So I don't have much else to say. To like just generalities, you guys have been so good. So I feel like I'm praising too much, but it's how I feel.
Well,
Tim?
I mean, I used to feel some of that too, but I'll add to the praise here, and this goes for everybody in the chat. I used to feel some of that as an American fan and also as a more recent fan, but I have to say, like, there's so many beautiful things about Palace, but the welcoming of the wider Palace community and of this community has sort of taken that away for me, where I don't feel that anymore. But I think there was a little bit of reticence in the beginning. But I mean, this is maybe true of some other fan bases, but I don't really believe it. I think this fan base is special and different. I just think it is. I think it's just different. You know, like it's been unbelievable how much we've been welcomed into this fan base. And I would also say, just a quick one. Everybody knows this. I'm such a huge Chris Richards fans, but Patrick, that's the thing that really got me. I mean, it got me straight in the heart. like to see how great. See, I'm gonna get emotional again. Like to see how great he played yesterday, and how like you're the club that I support, that I love, that this and we don't. This. I mean, Patrick, you live in America. You know that like we don't. Football doesn't have the same priority in America. It's getting it's getting more traction. It's definitely getting better. It's getting bigger. And like you mentioned, Rebecca Lowe, she's a part of that.
Right.
But it's different. It's just different. And
he too many other sports. Exactly. Too many other sports to compete with. Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. And I mean, he comes from an absolute footballing desert in the United States.
Alabama.
And I mean, he was so good. He was so good shutting down Holland yesterday.
That was such a tough assignment. Yeah, to have to take Holland, and you were right. You noticed it immediately, Tim, that he was the one that was guarding Holland. And every time I was like, well, is it changing? Nope. It's just him on Holland. That was the assignment.
And to beat him in the air. And to beat him in the air.
Yeah. Got his head on everything.
Everything. Real quick. My son and I, me, D, Louis, and the group, we were coming back from the Green Man. We're heading to Piccadilly because there was a rumor that the HF was going to Leicester Square or Piccadilly. Chris, did you hear that rumor, by the way? Because I went there and they weren't there. I was very upset. I got all the way to Piccadilly and they weren't there.
I didn't hear that rumor.
Around 10 o'clock, at night.
Yeah. No, I didn't hear that. But,
okay, so we were on the train talking, and I said to my son, I was talking to Xavier, you heard him talk before. I said to him, you know what? Remember Trevor Chalobah? I said, Xavier, if we'd kept Chalobah, we don't win that FA Cup this season.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not put down on Trevor Chalobah. Chris Richards
hit,
is so much better in certain areas that we needed in this team more than Chalobah. Chalobah is more of a ball-playing, attacking type of a center back with left, right, center, whatever. Whereas
more
Chris
of an overlap.
Right, Chris is more of a stay at home, good in the air, defensively solid type of player, and he was so good for the entire time, bar like one or two matches. He was being so good the entire time when after Chalobah left, and everybody's worried about it, and I was too. Don't get me wrong. He has been so good, and I wanted to praise him, Tim, because Chris Richards was brilliant yesterday. Has been so good this year. But Animal, sorry, go ahead.
Do we think he's the most improved player this season?
Oh, I was going to mention that. Like last year,
good shout.
He was floundering, doing his best at midfield, and that's all he could do for half a year.
Yep.
And to
but that's not. But I'll say that. Right, it's not. That's not fair because he's not a midfielder exactly. And I remember Tim and I talking last year about it. He played there because Hudson had no choice, but that was so unfair for that kid. If you watch him play for any U.S. team, even for Bayern Munich, he played right back and center back. He never came close to playing in midfield. That's just because he's a defensive player and putting him as a defensive midfielder was so unfair, Alex. But you're right. I mean, most improved. It's a great
He's in the conversation. I think that's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic question, Animal. He's
raised his level. He's raised his level beyond anybody else. I think.
I think it's him or Henderson. I would say because Henderson has always been a good goalkeeper, but he's been a lot more consistent. Sorry, Patrick. I know.
No. And by the way, I'll have that conversation too because D and I had it. And Louis,
it's gotta be so tiring for you.
Go back and listen. I said, for us to win the FA Cup, Dean Henderson has to come up big. I didn't say Dean Henderson was a bad goalie. I didn't say that we didn't. I said he made a lot of one or two save clean sheets, but if he comes up big, we'll win the FA Cup. And yesterday, because I was in front of him, and I saw it, he was absolutely brilliant. And we don't win yesterday without Dean Henderson. So there's that. So you're right.
Now listen,
can I be fair too?
Animal,
go ahead, Animal.
Go ahead.
I've got people in the chat saying talking about Kamada, and actually I would like to talk about Kamada because anyone who watches this channel, anyone who interacts with me knows that I
you were early on him and you got it right.
the biggest defender of Kamada this season, and I've been through it with you all. You know, we
Good
all
for
know
you.
his
Good for
performances
you. Good for you.
weren't great, you know, at the beginning of the season. But what was difficult for me is that we've always been a team that supports our players, and for some reason this season
Thank you.
it's just been different. It's just
Yep.
been different, and
Yep.
I couldn't wrap my head around it. You know, I couldn't wrap my head around it. But luckily, you know, he's been outstanding for the last few games, and definitely in the FA Cup in you know the few games that we've played. Outstanding! What a turnaround! And I mentioned this on Eagle Eyed as well. Is that when they were lifting the trophy, he didn't look like he wanted to pick it up, as if he didn't feel
I
like he
know.
deserved to lift it for the fans. You know, and if that tells you something about the mindset that the fans can get into the players, you know, we need to have nothing. We
He
need
had
to have
an
nothing but
Instagram
support and love for
post
these players.
about that similarly, that this has been like the hardest year for him. And then it said, but ... and then it showed like us winning. So
Right.
it's like through all of that difficulty, he got through it. But
You
I
guys
just
remember
don't feel
though?
for him.
Remember his first interview? What did he say at the end of the interview? He wants to do what for Crystal Palace? Do you remember the interview?
Win a trophy.
Exactly. He said it in his interview. It's the first time he got there, and he's done it. So what else could you ask for? As a
he contributed really well yesterday as well.
Massively.
He was
Massively.
intercepting. I think it was on the near post on the left flank when City were attacking down that side. He came in with an amazing slide tackle. The guy has turned it all around for me.
I think I completely agree with that. And I would say, I think as hard as and unfair as we've been on Kamada, you know, for parts of this season as a fan base, what I find really heartening, Animal, is that it seems like in the dressing room, they are loving on him all of the time and trying to push him forward and support him. And I love that so much about this team. So even though like we've been unfair,
you know?
Yeah, even though we've been a bit unfair on him, I think the dressing room has been very supportive of him, and I love that.
I've got to say one more thing as well. Hang on, one thing to Patrick. Do you remember? It was months ago now. It was on one of the streams, and I came into the chat with, "I think we can win the FA Cup," and you pulled it up, and you were in agreement with me. And ever since, I've held on to that. And
love that. I do remember it.
The closer we got to the FA Cup final, the quieter I became. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to touch.
Yeah, you're like, please don't make this be a mistake. But I feel.
And to be fair, he talked about yesterday. Louis mentioned did the same. Louis mentioned it probably in like the 5th round. Said, you know, we could win the cup. We can win this cup. So I never believed it. I never believed it. Maybe so
that are crazy enough. Sorry. Go ahead. The 25, the person with the 25 jersey that was FA Cup winners as the name on the back, he called his shot, and it's just like, I could never be that person. I am so superstitious. Like, I don't know why I'm wearing a black cat shirt today, but I don't know. I'm going against it.
Speaking of superstition, did anybody else feel like everybody wanted us to win a bit too much, and like the universe?
Yes.
It was like that. Like I wanted to.
I've been through all of the emotions.
I mean, I have to tell you, I was like, when Troy Deeney was saying like shut the hell up. Shut up.
Yeah. We don't
I
want
don't
him.
need Troy Deeney on our side.
He's never right about anything. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yes, I 1,000,000%. I felt that.
We've done it. We've won it.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap up in a few, but I want to go back to Clarky. Do you have anything you want to add? Any final thoughts as far as? I mean, I know how much it meant to you, because again, I got to see you at the end. But anything you want to add about this as far as Palace actually being an FA Cup winner?
There's not much more to say. It really is such a special achievement, and I'm so proud. And you know, I mean, the emotions come through earlier on, and I think I'm almost at a stage where I can talk coherently about it now. I'm sure that at some stage, you know, I will, you know, be able to reflect on it properly. But at the moment, it's still sinking in. Things are coming out on social media that are reducing me to tears again and again and again. But it's been wonderful to hear everyone's stories and reactions this evening, and to be part of this conversation. Because I never thought this would happen, and I'm so happy.
Appreciate you, Chris. Are you still here?
Yeah, so
What you have any final thoughts as far as the fact that Crystal Palace are actually the 2025 FA Cup winners? Even though did they spell it wrong on this? Did they really spell it wrong on the
Winners
board?
with 3 N's.
Yeah, because I was busy crying. I couldn't even read it properly through the tears. So okay,
he's got
winners.
Guys probably
Go ahead. All sorry.
That guy's probably got the same problem as my keyboard. Every time I press the T key. But anyway, we're going to Wembley 3 times in a single year. That's unheard of for this club. If I could tell my past self from 2016, who watched that final in his friend's house, leaving absolutely dejected, having to go to school the following week to get mocked about it, that you're going to win it in 9 years' time. Yeah, that's about it.
Thanks. Animal, what about you? Any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? Well, I mean, I'm still in total shock. I think I reflected the fans yesterday. We were here, literally in my living room, all me and my long-suffering missus on the sofa, and my best mate right next to me. And when the first goal went in, I was just, you know, the whole street heard, and there's a half marathon going on outside. The penalty save, cheering, and then at the final whistle, I didn't know what to do. I was just on the floor, head in my hands, just taking it all in, and it's just been an absolute roller coaster of emotions, just from the day before yesterday to yesterday and today. And I'm just glad to have shared it with everybody that I can.
How you doing, Animal? Good to meet you.
Hey, Animal's here.
You taking your victory lap?
Why do you never call in?
Do I look how you imagined?
I don't know how I imagine you, to be fair.
He's been really good. We got to get him on the show more. He's really good. He's really good.
He's always there. He never calls in.
Really good.
He's always there. He never calls in. What can I do? I can't force him to call in.
It's a special occasion, isn't it, guys? And I'll see if I can try and come on a little bit more often, because
please do.
I try and
I say that for the rest of the chat as well. I
try not to miss a show, guys. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, you're always there. You're always there. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's nice. It's nice to see. It's nice to see face to it. But yeah, I didn't want to cut you lot off. I just had to go do a few things, and now there's other streams that want me.
Real quick, Animal.
Ready to float?
I would say in our private chat that you were Dee's burner account, by the way. Fact. I would say that to D all the time. No, I can't say anymore because obviously you're not. So
I'm real. What can I say?
That's awesome.
That's all. Where's Twisted?
That's Louis' burner account. He's not Louis in
yeah, I can't lie. There's something going on about that.
I love bantering with Twisted, and I love bantering with Tom Clark as well. There's no negative spin that can be put on even by Tom Clark, man.
Yeah, well, I'm just curious where Twisted is. That's my guy, but he hasn't been in the like. There's something going on.
I was calling him yesterday.
I feel like someone here is Twisted. Is someone here Twisted? Come clean now. Anyone here Twisted?
I'm not Twisted.
Okay.
I'm Alex.
Maybe it might be Lou. You know, that'll be the funniest thing, because Lou actually, him and Twisted, they just go at it all the time. Like,
yeah.
D, before you leave,
that would be a reveal.
Can you put up Quentin's comment? Because we met him on the way to Covent Garden, remember? But we're walking to Covent Garden, me, D, and my son, and Quentin was there, came over us, took a picture with us. You know, somebody loved the show, which is great. But he didn't have a ticket for the game. He was just there to soak up the vibe of the which I thought was brilliant, by the way. That was so fantastic. So that was awesome. That was really awesome.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. We met a lot of people yesterday.
A
as well.
lot of
Genuinely,
people, yeah, a lot of really nice
a lot of
people,
people.
yeah.
Shout out to everyone as well. Like, even after the game, Patrick, when we was in London, funny enough, there was a funny story. So I think you've met him before. JC, he's from LA, but he went to Chicago for preseason.
Yes, yeah.
So
I went to
yesterday
Chicago.
we was talking, and then afterwards, he was like, I don't know how the conversation came about. Then he was like, honestly, I recognize you from somewhere. Then he realized, oh wait, I watch you. Like, I watch your shows every time. It's like, I don't know if I recognize. Then, for example, we just stayed out. We stayed out. It was JC, his partner. There was a fan, Tim. Funny enough, there was a fan from Colorado.
Probably from Colorado Palace.
Most
Yeah.
popular team in Colorado in the Premier League.
That's right. I have as many open browser windows as I possibly can to Palace content to make sure it stays that way.
So I met so many people. That's what I'm saying. And then afterwards, literally everywhere I went, it was such good vibes. I ended up getting home very late, ended up sleeping late, 6 a.m. But honestly, it's one of the best days of my life, if not the best. I don't know what other day was better than yesterday. And I just genuinely, I can't wait for the parade. I can't wait for not tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm losing count of days now.
Sorry. One more thing. Could you put TP's comment on the screen, please?
Yeah.
And TP, you never will see me any happier. You won't. You never see me any happier than you will today. We won the FA Cup. It can't get any better than this. So,
when Nketiah scores the Europa League final goal,
that'll be D's happiness. You'll see. I'll be happy, but not as happy as D. Not as happy as D. Yeah, not as happy as D.
Yeah. Everyone gets a 10 for player ratings, right, Patrick?
I don't.
Are we doing them?
No,
you don't need to.
So here's a little background. Obviously, right now I'm in South London. Okay. Tomorrow I'll be flying back to America.
Oh boy, yeah.
And Louis is in Greece, and we'll be there for. I don't know how it's gonna get done between Louis being in Greece, me being in the air.
It does not need to be done.
A Tuesday game against Wolves. I mean, we can do it, but it won't be put out until after Wolves. So.
Surely everyone's a 10. I don't know. Look, we can talk
about.
All right,
spoiler alert! Everyone's a 10 plus.
Exactly.
Class versus 20. Class versus 20.
Class is 100. Exactly, 100.
What's a 20?
Personally, I've loved the player ratings ever since Lou and Patrick have started doing it. They're brilliant. You're great fans.
That's what he's saying.
I think D, come on. We know that's not your strength, bro.
Tell him again, animal. Tell him.
Take him down a peg.
What are you trying to say right
now? I think it's good after a match as well to throw a little bit of perspective on these players' performances when we feel like maybe they've not.
It's a great point.
So well.
Yeah, I agree.
Patrick can come in with stats to back up how maybe they've contributed more than we thought.
You know what? Do the player ratings because I want to hear what you say about you, Patrick, about Henderson, and Lou about Munoz.
You've already addressed it again. You weren't listening. Okay, so let's clear before because you were doing the 12th man. I said we wouldn't win the FA Cup unless Dean Henderson had a great game, and he did. I never said he wasn't a good goalkeeper. What I said, and Animal said it, the stats will back me up. He had a lot of 2 and 3 save clean sheets. Good for him. But to win the cup, that was never going to be the case. Yesterday, he was phenomenal. He will go down in Crystal Palace folklore, and I could not be any happier.
Okay, your statement, I've written that down. Lou will answer this crime. So I don't know if he wants to appear now. We'll do player ratings. And in the player ratings, if you give everyone a 10, and for my sake, otherwise I'll edit it to that Munoz part because I didn't have those powers and I'll cut everything. I need to hear what Lou says about Danny Munoz because he said a lot. He said a lot. He says a lot. He says a lot as well. So that'll be interesting to hear what he said.
Whatever I just said, take out Hendo, put in Munoz, he'll say the same exact thing.
Oh yeah, of course it will. Of course it will.
I've always rated Munoz. But
yeah. And funny enough, there was actually someone who go to the games with as well, and he was saying the same thing. He that Lou doesn't rate Munoz. So yeah, look, he's not here to back himself. But agendas must agenda. And yeah, if he's not here to back himself, then we can.
But you're terrible, man. You're terrible. I swear you are.
I can't lie. When we scored that goal from Eze, I looked at Lou and after I told him like Munoz got the assist, his smile kind of disappeared. I just want to say
that's a lie because I was there. That did not happen. I was that. They were too busy hugging each other during the goal for that to ever even happen. So don't lie. That's not
no.
true.
After I hugged it, I was like, Lou, wait. It was Munoz assist. I can't lie. His smile kind of was like, okay.
How is Lou catching strays right now?
Horns right now.
Lou is catching strays. Catching strays.
Man.
Timmy, it's okay. I'm going to go back, clip it, and put it back in our group chat. Watch. He'll see it. He'll see it. Don't worry. Tomorrow morning you'll see it. Nice one. Good job there. Good job there, D.
Nah, yeah. Well, let's see what Lou says. But yeah, look, overall it was a great day. I genuinely don't know about content-wise what we're gonna do because I think people might care.
Chill for a bit.
Does anyone care about Wolves preview? I mean,
yeah.
Do you?
What game is happening on Tuesday? Who cares?
I'm just looking at not the preview. I'm looking at maybe the preview in terms of what we're gonna do, how the FA Cup looks. But that game is so pointless on Tuesday. I'm sorry. If Glazer comes out with quote saying no, we have to be fully fit. No, I'm sorry. That's all you. So, enjoy the moment. Yeah, enjoy the moment. We just want to if he comes out saying we're gonna approach this game with the right mentality, he probably will. That's all you, Glazer. I won't be going into the Wolves game thinking we have to win this game. I'll be enjoying the Wolves game. I don't care if we lose 4-5-0. Trust me, there'll be a smile on my face when that FA Cup trophy's walking around Sellers Park. But knowing Glasgow, he probably will. We're probably right now analysing Wolves. Probably is.
Of course, yeah. I keep doing it. The difference is he's gonna do. He's gonna do. I mean, this is the game. This is the game where Hindalo Mustafa gets his first start.
Ooh,
come on,
that would
hot
be
take.
cool.
Hot take. Reckless
I would
prediction.
love it.
Reckless prediction. You put
Papora.
Tim, knowing Glasgow,
Yeah.
He's going to go with the same 11 probably. He won't, probably not. If he could, he'll probably go the same 11 that he done against
So
City.
boring.
Get
Why can't he be
there.
so
Come on.
inconsistent?
Exactly.
Like, we should be parading that FA Cup like the start of Lion King.
That'd be amazing. Someone go to the box and just hold FA Cup. It's like a bit more like theatrical, like the FA Cup is.
By the way, spoiler alert: D's already booked next season's tour of the Palace tour. He wants to be the first one to see the FA Cup in the new cabinet. Told me that last night.
Tell me I'm lying.
Tell me I'm lying. You didn't say that last night. Tell everybody I'm lying.
Why on earth would I not book the tour? Of course, I'm booking the tour. But I'm booking the tour because you have to realize I've experienced the tour beforehand. So when I experienced the tour beforehand,
So have I.
There was a
Cup.
radiator there. Yeah, there's a radiator in the background. I took a photo, and there's in our trophy cabinet. There was a Premier League trophy certificate. No, not trophy. There's a Premier League certificate, as to say your Premier League football club. And you're telling me, and that's what I witnessed. You're telling me I'm not going to take another stadium.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
So I need to book it again. I need to get an actual trophy there. So I'll be going and having another stadium tour to see an FA Cup trophy. And you never know, maybe another stadium tour in August, Community Shield. I'll take that. I'll take that because we got that as well. I don't know. Maybe we might have to start expanding.
You're going to be a busy person, man.
Hey, well, European tour as well.
Yeah.
Well, next month I am busy. Palace News, Patrick, whoever wants to do the shows, feel free. Because we'll probably end up signing players early, but 10 days.
I don't know. Is Animal looking to?
Okay, listen up. News alert. I don't do Palace News, and you know this. I don't do Palace News. Don't do it.
Wow, what's wrong with Palace News?
You already know the answer to this.
Thank you, Tim.
Why are you asking questions to which you
already
have answers?
I'm curious to know what's wrong with our show. What's wrong with educating?
No. I love the show. No, the show's great. I just don't want to do them. They're not for me.
Why not? Okay,
Tim, enlighten him. Tim, enlighten him. Why I don't do this? Enlighten him.
Well, he's
Rumors? You don't like rumors?
I don't. Yeah, I don't have time for it.
Yeah. Because
And by the way, now with the Europa League side, oh my God, the rumors are gonna be ridiculous. T, have a great time. You're gonna love it. You are gonna be in your element this summer.
Well, if someone doesn't
Enjoy
step
it.
up to the plate between the 18th of June, probably till like the 1st of July, there will be no shows because I'll be in Mexico and I'm not.
Animal.
Yes, animal. Sign up.
I won't be doing Palace. I'll be enjoying my vacation and then getting ready for the stresses of next season. But I don't know, maybe we might do if you sign someone exciting. But yeah, rumors they're fun. I know Patrick doesn't enjoy them. Animal, do you enjoy rumors?
I know. I live for the gossip columns, for the rumors, seeing who might go where, what might happen, who we
There's
might.
your man. There's
Well,
your man
yeah.
right there. Right there.
Yeah, well,
You
for
guys
that
are
reason,
for punishment.
sign him up. Sign him. We need squad depth.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No, we do. We need squad depth for next season. With Europa League, League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League. We need squad depth. I agree.
By the way, I'll tell you what, I've already been around arguing with like Liverpool fans and stuff like that who are like, yeah, we can get Munoz for very cheap and stuff like that. I'm like, very cheap? What are you talking about, bro? You know, they're like, oh yeah, we can get him for like 20 mil. I'm like, it's only our valuation of our players when they're under contract that matters. Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah. Also, another thing, we're seeded in the Carabao Cup for the first time because of Europe. So we won't be joining in August. I don't know when. Yeah.
One extra round.
Yeah,
Bring
exactly.
it on.
Yeah. So Carabao Cup run, sign it up next season. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's start building all the trophies. Should we wrap up?
Yeah.
All right. Look, it was a great stream. Of course, I didn't want to end it.
The longest stream you've had?
Probably no. Deadline day we do longer than this. Talking about absolutely nothing.
I meant like match reaction. I think this is the longest one.
Oh yeah, of course. This is it's the longest stream. But it's
beautiful. It was beautiful.
For it. Exactly. It's one for the history books. One for the history books. We've finally done it. More than anything, we're laughing now. The stories at the start of the show were absolutely great about people and their life as a Palace fan and the emotions. And yeah, look, it's not a straight ride for Palace. It's a roller coaster. And finally, we got to see the joys at the end of it. So yeah, it was great for everyone leaving down their thoughts in the live conversation. Everyone calling in as well. It was great to see some new faces, some faces I've seen in chat like Animal joining as well. That's fantastic.
Yeah, get more people get in here. This is awesome.
Yeah,
yeah. Water's fine.
We're champions. We've won the FA Cup. Joe Ward is leaving as a happy man.
Yep.
I'm a happy man.
Yes,
we're all happy.
Super Ali Glaster.
Glazer's won. He's done miracles, done the impossible. Not only him, the group of players, as Patrick mentioned, the people above him at board level as well. Dougie Friedman, Steve Parrish, John Texter, Harrison Blitzer. They're all involved. What you think about them? They were there yesterday as well. Everyone's done it. We've done it together. And now I'm hungry for more. But I'll keep my hunger there because God knows if it will ever happen. But I'm just happy to say that I've experienced this. So even if it doesn't happen, not a lot of Palace. Well, there's a lot of Palace fans who can't say that, which is unfortunate. So I feel privileged to even share this platform and talk to each and every single one of you, even in chat, and everyone that we even met yesterday as well. Outside the ground, going to the ground after the game, it's unbelievable. But we're gonna wrap up here. We might do a stream tomorrow. Let's see. I mean, we're kind of like, let's do whatever we want at this point because we reached that stage. But
this is like summer vacation, yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the game on Sunday against Liverpool, I'm curious to see what's going to happen in that one because that's like the league winners and FA Cup winners. That's a Community Shield rehearsal, really. I don't know if we're going to. That could be like a 5-4 game. That could be like two drunk teams playing each other, so it might be hilarious. But let's see what happens. But these are the things. Now we can relax, finish 12, but we got trophy and also European football. So that's it from us. And until next time, up the Palace.
Of the Palace.
Palace.
Palace.